What up, fanatics? Today we are doing Internet Friends Part 2, which means we are going to be once again joined by Elsid, Dakotah, and Jorge Kun. And we are going to be talking about one of my favorite topics, anime. So I hope you enjoy. You know what, guys? I'm a little nervous about this episode because I'm freaking terrible with names in general.
With Japanese names?
And just adding foreign names to the mix. It's like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to mess this up royally, but...
Man, just have Wikipedia on your second screen. You got it.
Yeah, no, that's all good, dude. Like, I can't remember half of them either.
Yeah, but...
I don't think that's a big deal.
I'm definitely going to be using, what's it called? Like the Animepedia, whatever it's called. But anyways, So Certified Internet Friends, Part 2. We are talking about anime. Why does such weirdness inspire such loyal fan bases?
You start with a deep question right off the bat because I have no idea. Or are we just like that, kind of like the intro?
I don't know.
I'll be honest, man. I don't know.
We're just going in, aren't we?
I think the easiest way.
Yes,
I think.
maybe.
How about we ask this, Rafa?
Okay. Yes.
What was the first anime you ever watched?
Ooh.
I bet you mine is probably gonna be surprising. If you guys had to guess, what would you think it would be? If you had to guess, I mean,
I'm trying to think of.
Can you give us an era?
It is probably one of the earliest animes to ever be very much accepted in the U.S. Actually, globally, to be honest, because my uncles from Venezuela were a huge fan of this anime.
Oh, Sailor Moon.
Sailor Moon. Yeah, my uncles sat around the TV drinking beers, watching Sailor Moon.
Man.
They did the dance and everything.
I gotta guess.
I got one. I'll go.
Speed Racer.
Yeah,
We
have a winner. What were you gonna say, Jorge?
You gonna say the same thing, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Totally not.
He's like, yes, that was totally my guess.
Totes.
Yeah.
Say wavelength.
The fact that you said, what was it? Your grandpa liked it.
My uncles.
Oh, your uncles? Yeah, that gave it away because my family, back when I was a young Venezuelan lad, also liked Speed Racer. It introduced me to Speed Racer.
Heck yeah, dude. I don't know what is it about Speed Racer in Venezuela, but people freaking loved it over there. And the funny thing is that he's not called Speed Racer. He's called Meteoro.
Yeah.
Which means put in the gold or get the gold. Like if we're going word for word translation, it's put in the gold. But what it means is go get the gold or get the gold. Yeah. But yeah, dude.
Have you guys watched it? Jorge and Dakotah, have you guys seen Speed Racer? Do you know what it's all about?
Very early memories of watching Speed Racer, and the only thing I can really remember is the two saw blades that come out of the front of the car. And didn't he have like a monkey with him all the time?
No, I don't think he had the saw blades though. Wasn't that Racer X that had the saw blades?
I don't remember.
Or was it? Or did he have the saw blades just for trees? Because I remember him being like he was the racer that wouldn't try to break other people's cars. Like he would try to race clean, and then all the other racers were like dirty racers, and they were trying to pop his tires and stuff in the middle of the race.
Yeah, he was squeaky clean. He was a protagonist that could do no wrong. But now that I think about it, that's actually a really good one to start because I feel like that anime started the whole overuse of expressions or just holding on to an expression for too long. Yeah, just like
where it cuts to their face the entire time.
And just cut to every single character.
Every single episode ended in a cliffhanger. Yes. Every single one. you know. And I think the reason why it was so popular, at least in Venezuela, right, was because it had very telenovela-esque qualities to it. Like they had the brother who had died, but he really ended up somewhere else with amnesia, and he became the masked racer.
Yeah. Was his name Razor X? What was it like?
I'm pretty sure it's Racer X. Let's see.
Yeah, and the sound. I just remember the sound effects from the car too. The Mach 5. Everybody wanted the Mach 5.
Yeah.
By the way, and like the car would jump, and it would go. It would do the whole thing. Like, come on, that was cool. No one could not like that back in the day.
And they had a monkey.
So there was a monkey. I couldn't remember.
It was a monkey.
Dakotah could care less about the car, about the storyline. He's worried about the monkey.
Oh man, and what was his love interest? God, I remember now. Now I'm just like remembering all these names.
Dude,
like,
I don't remember. Let's see. Jorge, bust out that Speed Racer character list.
Trixie.
Oh, that's
right.
That
was Trixie. It because we named our bunny when I was a little kid Trixie from the show.
Really?
Yeah.
Look at that. I'm bringing all sorts of associations of Speed Racer to the light right now.
And the monkey, Chim Chim.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. But dude, yeah, that was my entry into anime. That really was. And I thought about it really hard because before I even get into that, how many times did we postpone the show? This
Two
episode?
Or 3.
2 or 3, maybe 4 times.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. It was a good amount of times. It was a about as many times as it took episodes of Dragon Ball Z to finish a fight, something like that.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no! This is the first time. This is a cult fans only first. We lost somebody during the show.
I think somebody interrupted him.
What?
It looked like he went on mute too. He's still in.
Back him.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure my door was closed, so if we didn't have anybody.
Oh, dude!
Talking about anime, man.
You are like killing the video here, dude. Oh my god!
Give me a second.
Like the editing on this is going to be like, what are they doing? Like now your face is like all huge.
I do have a large head.
Yeah, your face is super huge. Like throw like a towel over your camera next time. How dare you?
Big Coda.
Okay.
How dare you?
I forgot to shut my door.
Look at Jorge. Look at Jorge. Everybody is seeing his bedroom right now. The whole world. All 10 viewers are seeing his bedroom right now.
I gotta say, there's some nice quilts he's got on there, and a very nicely made bed.
The man's got some drip, I'm telling you.
Yeah. You got some bed drip.
Jorge is a man of class, but under his comforter there is anime waifu bed covers.
You could see the back of his chair where all the sweat from playing Apex just like wilted the leather.
Oh, yeah.
Dakotah does not have wilted leather back anymore.
No, because I replace my chairs every year.
Yes.
Do you want to show us do a little show off? I guess since we enter.
Secret lab chair with this cooling gel pillow. It's very cold all the time.
It's a secret lab chair, but no affiliation because let's face it, they don't care about us. But it's all right.
I'm gonna replace this pillow with the face of Hinata from Naruto on it.
I don't want you resting your dirty head on Hinata's face.
Man, that's disrespect.
Or even better yet, kind of like the slow ahead last night. Just put
waifu jugs.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like perfectly to cradle my head.
Buy like one of those mouse pads that
I'll never get one of those mouse pads. I could not explain it.
Wrist rest mountain cuddlers. I don't know what's a good way. What's a PC way to describe those things? But you could get one of those and put it like as a neck rest. You know.
Yeah, I mean it's very ergonomic. So I think I think you can only benefit.
I think your doctors would approve.
Probably.
honestly.
I'll take it to the doctor's office and say, "What do you think?"
Doctor,
see.
was this a good neck rest?
The psychiatrist's office is next door.
Like, yo, you got that one too?
All right. Let's get back to it. Dakotah, your
Yes.
first anime, and you came into anime late in life.
I did, but I still, as a little kid, before I even knew what anime was, I watched a little bit of Speed Racer, obviously, when I was itty bitty. Don't remember anything, and until this very moment that you talked about it, completely forgot. But I mean, I was obsessed with Pokemon, like every kid in the early
Yeah.
'90s.
Yeah.
My first grade picture that we had to do, where we had to go out and like, it was like a little full body picture that they took of us when we were kids. I was wearing my Ash Ketchum jacket, and I had my Pokeball in my hand. In the picture.
Did you have the fingerless gloves?
Did
The
you
Ash Ketchum
think?
gloves?
Yes, I
Like-
did. I cut some fingers off the glove.
Be honest with me. Did you think you were the coolest kid in your class that day?
I was the coolest kid.
Oh, okay.
I didn't think. I knew.
I know I was.
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, if it makes you feel any better, I wore my Space Jam Bugs Bunny jersey with my Space Jam basketball for like the spring fling picture in elementary school. So yeah, I did that too.
Dude, I had a freaking Space Jam like Letterman jacket that I wore like all the time, dude. I thought it was the coolest. I thought it was the coolest thing.
El said, I think you're like a long lost relative. You have to be. You're Venezuelan. You like Space Jams. You like anime. Like there has to be some sort of familial connection there.
I mean, if someone doesn't if someone doesn't like Space Jam, I would have concerns. You know,
Yeah.
I would have concerns.
Although I am a little worried about the remake with LeBron James. I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah.
I don't know how
I
I,
don't know, man.
feel.
I
But
don't know.
this isn't a cartoon conversation.
No.
This is an anime conversation. There is a clear distinction for
So-
people who do not know. Anime is specifically Japanese-made cartoons.
So I will say something that will make Elsid very proud. Is that even when I was a little kid watching Dragon Ball, before I knew what anime was, I hated watching it in English because I couldn't stand that their mouths were not synced with the words that were coming out. And I didn't understand it's because I was watching a dub at the time. I was like, this is so annoying. But really, like when I finally like really learned about anime and started watching it, it was One Punch Man. And that was a few years ago, but not much more recent than you'd think.
Got you.
Yep.
Okay, respect.
That is pretty late in the game.
Yeah, I didn't really watch much anime. I didn't really know anything about it. Like I knew that people, like I heard that knew like about the Naruto run, where you run with your hands behind your back. Didn't understand that.
No, what's that? What's that about?
The Naruto, where you run like
Can you demonstrate? Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
this.
Dakotah looked like he was trying to attempt an early 90s dance and failed miserably. There was just like a little flailing going around for anybody just listening. Anyways, you kind of jumped into the whole dubs versus subs debate a little early. Just to say,
Well, I'm just saying that like from an early age, I knew that subs was the right way to go.
Just the connoisseur of anime right off the bat. All right,
Yeah.
okay. So One Punch Man was the hook. Mr. Elcido.
If we're talking origin stories here, I mean, now that you mention it, I think for sure, Speed Racer was the one, but I didn't know it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I didn't know what I was watching was an anime. It was just a cartoon that showed up. It was a cool car, whatever, right? And then I kind of forgot about that genre, if I even knew it existed at the time. Let's just say that, right?
Well, was it even available other than Speed Racer at the time?
Yeah, no, there was nothing. Yeah, there was nothing like accessible, right? Like for me, I think it was, going back to the Toonami days. I don't know if you guys watched Toonami.
Yes.
Afternoon, after school, you tune on to Toonami, and they would always bust out, the best animes. And I mean, I think, Dragon Ball Z was like definitely the base one by far. Right. Everybody loved Dragon Ball Z. And that hooked me hard.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z is definitely the gateway drug to a lot of anime. Recalling to the video that was sent through our Discord a couple days ago when they put like basically Attack on Titan scenario, but these are like regular people defending themselves against weebdom of anime. The first barrier was waifus, right? I forgot what the second barrier was, but the third barrier I think was Dragon Ball Z, and
It was Goku.
Yeah, it was Goku coming up to the Titan fighters and being like, which if you guys haven't seen Attack on Titan, 10 out of 10 recommend. But he was like, what am I gonna do? Be a contrarian? Like, because
It's
just
Dragon Ball Z, dude.
yeah, like
Everybody loves Dragon Ball Z.
yes.
I don't know. I like, again, same with Space Jam. If I meet somebody, they say, "Oh, dude, I don't know. I don't really like Dragon Ball Z. The fights took too long. They couldn't like scream a lot." It's like, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. I don't trust you as a human being. You need to get out.
If you haven't at one point tried to do a Kamehameha wave in the pool, did you really have a childhood? Is the question. How many times have you done that?
I mean, me and my cousins. Shout out to my cousins, Dave and Danny. They know who they are. Me and my cousins used to train for whole afternoons trying to do Kamehameha waves.
Exactly.
Like we would share notes. Like, did your fingers tingle? Like, did you feel the tingling? Like if you put enough effort in your hands, like your fingers will start tingling. And we thought that was like very like getting on the cusp of doing the Kamehameha wave. Just to find out later on in life that's probably like us like forcing ourselves so much that we're cutting off blood circulation, so probably not good for us. But we thought it was legit.
I know exactly what you mean, because I did the same thing when I wanted to turn Super Saiyan. I swear to God, it is an absolute miracle that one of my eyeballs did not pop out of my socket with how hard I tried to turn Super Saiyan after I watched Goku do it for the first time.
I have a real question for that one, because since I was never able to do the Kamehameha wave, I never tried to go Super Saiyan. But did your underwear come out unscathed from all those attempts?
Remember that time we were all going around the horn asking when was the last time you pooped your pants?
That was the first time I pooped my pants.
I'll just end it there.
You see, the thing is you guys all, you came in base form. I was born blonde, so I came in Super Saiyan form.
And then you peaked.
True. And then I peaked. No, it's just been downhill.
Oh man. Okay. Before we, Jorge likes to fly under the radar and not answer the questions. But Jorge, first anime.
I can't remember. The only thing that's kind of like I remember is it's around the time where I'll come home on Cartoon Network and watch like Full Metal Alchemist or Dragon Ball or Naruto, or I think they had Gundam on at the time. I'm not too sure though.
Oh yeah, I watched some Gundam growing up.
You want to talk about telenovela?
Oh yeah,
Gundam Wing was a freaking telenovela, man. That was dramatic.
I think what is it? Gundam Wing Endless Waltz, like the Gundam with the wings, right?
Yeah, Endless Waltz was the movie that followed Gundam Wing, which is like Jorge was saying, it was on Toonami, on adult, not adult, so Toonami or just Cartoon Network, one of those. Yeah, one of those segments.
Which huge shout out to Cartoon Network and Toonami, and especially Tom, Mr. Crap. What's his name? The guy from the Logic album.
Oh crap!
Oh man, he's such a freaking legend. Spank, whatever.
You're talking
You should know this. You just did
Jorge.
logic. So.
I know. Look it up for us, Jorge. I forget his
You're talking
name.
about the guy who
Manolo.
plays
Monolo. Yeah.
No, get it on the screen.
the guy who plays in that game Valorant. I forgot. What his name is.
Yes. Who does Brimstone in Valorant?
Brimstone.
Yeah. But
Was
yes, major
Steven
shout
Blum?
out. Yes,
Steve Blum?
Steve Bloom. There you go,
Bloom?
dude. Tom brought me culture. Tom taught me what good cartoons look like. Thank you, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
And you know,
Sensei.
thank you, Sensei. Domo arigato, Sensei. I remember, so the two that did it for me, right? And it's funny because in school there was two camps of dudes, right? There was the dudes that watched WW or WCW and WWF and would like beat the crap out of each other, right? And then there was me and my friends that all loved Dragon Ball Z and like just like ran around yelling and like trying to kick each other. And that was fun. But the ones that did it for me were obviously Dragon Ball Z, but Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh man, that was the best tournament arc anime ever.
I would have to disagree with you on that one.
Oh, fighting
Yes.
words, man.
I have a very, very, very strong contender for
Okay.
best fighting tournament anime, which I think a lot of people could obviously argue Dragon Ball Z, but let's just take Dragon Ball Z out of the conversation for that one. Okay?
True.
Right? Because Dragon Ball Z is one of the big three.
Yeah.
But Baki, the grappler.
Oh,
Baki's pretty good.
Baki is pretty good.
I have not
Baki's
watched
pretty
Baki,
good.
so you have to tell me about it.
Baki is pretty good. I didn't finish it. No spoilers. But it was
Well, I'm going to
But-
tell you something about it. Okay? I'm going to spoil something. There's fighting. Okay?
Oh.
There is fighting. Sorry.
Thought it was a cooking show, dude.
Yeah. You thought it was Food is War, but no. Baki the Grappler is about fighting. No.
run from it now.
But I've watched Baki from the first episode when he was like 13 years old till where there are on Netflix now. So I watched the whole thing, and I have to say, Baki is awesome. There is another one on Netflix that's kind of like Baki. I forget the name of it. Let's see. Let's pull up the Netflix
I
really
love you
quick.
so much, Toto.
Oh God, no! Give me a second.
Is it like the
So-
boxing one, like Megalobox, or
No, it's not Megalobox. It's honestly just like Baki. I think it's kind of like a Baki ripoff. And if you guys are listening to the podcast or watching this, what came on screen, like what you heard, was A Whisker Away, which is actually an anime movie. So a little tiny bit of audio there. And luckily we're not big enough to where we will be taken down for playing that audio. Let's see. I think it starts with a K.
But I mean, it's like there's animes that are fully a tournament arc,
Yeah.
and but every anime at one point or another has its own tournament arc.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can't think of one that doesn't. Besides,
Bleach?
Does JoJo's Bizarre Adventure have a tournament arc?
Oh God, we're going straight into the week.
Well, actually, I guess Steel Ball Run is a tournament arc. Kind of.
Runs a tournament arc, yeah. I mean, since we're going back to to Toonami days and back in like the origin story golden era, I would say, definitely one of the most influential animes for me coming up was Cowboy Bebop. Does not have a tournament arc
You're right. It
that I can
doesn't.
think of. But dear God, that is a great anime. The music, the art style, the fights. The director wanted to make sure that the main character Spike fought like Bruce Lee. He followed that whole "be like water" mantra,
Mhm.
and it showed. in the fight, and that's an anime that's forever gonna stick with me.
I need to watch that.
Which supposedly I think I don't know what happened with the whole COVID thing as far as scheduling goes, but supposedly Cowboy Bebop is going to be a live action. I know there is a little bit of apprehension there, but what's his name, the guy from Harold and Kumar.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Yes, Neil Patrick Harris. Neil Patrick Harris is playing.
It's going to be Spike.
Spike, yes.
Oh no.
No. It's not. It's not Neil Patrick Harris. It's the John Cho. John Cho is going to be Spike, and I think that is actually pretty good casting for Spike.
I like John Cho. Yeah. So.
Has there ever been a successful live action adaptation of anything that's an anime?
Yes.
Heck yeah. Have you seen Avatar?
That's not an anime.
Oh,
shots. Okay,
We can't go there.
wait. So I'm going to make an official ruling for this podcast. I will count Avatar as an anime. I think at the very least it's a cousin, a cool cousin that they accept. You know, it's a cousin from the States. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not disagreeing or agreeing with you. I'm just saying that wars have been fought for less than that statement. Like legit, you know. So I don't know. It's a very contentious subject, whether Avatar is an anime or not. But I lean to yeah, kind of is.
Let me put it this way. I think that Avatar opened up the door for a lot of like Jorge's generation to start, like Generation Y, to start watching anime. Like maybe like they weren't like full weebs and stuff like that, but almost everybody in the US has watched Avatar. You know, like from both, or I shouldn't say both sexes, all sexes, right? Like male, female, or non-binaries, if that's a thing nowadays, right? They've all watched freaking Avatar, you know? So, and the fact that April Plaza did one of the voices, you know, just great. Love that show. But I counted.
I mean, you know, it's respectable to say it counts. You know, it's definitely Western.
I respect your decision, but I disagree with your decision. But I respect it.
Okay. I'm just saying we can do it. But if we're talking, going back to what we were talking about, live action, which also they're doing live action Avatar. And then this time the original creators are going to be involved. So pretty excited about that. Netflix is doing wonderful things. But the adaptation of Death Note, I don't know. So there's been 4 or 5 adaptations of Death Note.
The only good thing about that is William Dafoe. I had to say that.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. Okay. The best adaptation of Death Note is the one with I think his name is Hideo Nakata.
You mean the live action adaptation that was done in Japan?
Yes.
Talk about that one.
Well,
should we say what Death Note is?
Okay.
To level set.
I found it. It's the one where it stars Masataka Kobuta as Yagami and Kento Yamaka. I'm going to butcher these names. I'm sorry. Kento Yamazaki as L. Okay. Mm-hmm. And this is, so they've done like 3 or 4 live versions of Death Note. And I thought that one was pretty good. I am not including the US one with Nate Wolf. I actually was invited on another podcast and that was brought up. And you're right, Dakotah. We in that show we also said Willem Dafoe was a very good Ryuk.
It was a very good casting because he already kind of looks like him.
Yeah. I think Ryuk was basically based off of him.
Yeah.
I think the original animator just saw Willem Dafoe and be like, man, this would be a pretty good, demon.
He watched Spider-Man
good
1 and he
Shinigami.
was like, "This is perfect."
Yeah.
No. Yeah. But Death Note, yeah, I guess if you are a casual anime watcher, right? Death Note is kind of like one of the hardcore ones, right? Like a hardcore anime fan.
Well, I'll say this. Like a lot of the animes we've been talking about that are like the gateway drugs, right? It's called that way, are very like action heavy. Good stories, good plot, but definitely lean pretty heavy on the action side.
On the testosterone.
Yeah, just freaking yelling, kamehamehas, guns, blood, sweet. But Death Note is action, but it's more on the thriller side, right? It's more on the cerebral, smart guy versus smart guy type of thing, where they got to outwit each other. And it's done very well. Some would say a little bit too dramatic at times, but I welcome that in anime.
The note was in the potato chip bag the whole time.
No, shut off, Dakotah. Those are spoilers.
I agree. It's like you kind of think of like there's action shows, right? Which have like, or movies, all the Marvel movies out like fall under like action. But then there are these mega hits that are on TV. Like you think Sherlock, the TV show,
love Sherlock.
like great show, not a lot of action. It's very much an intellectual like thriller kind of show where it's all just smart people trying to outsmart one another. And that's basically Death Note. It's Sherlock Holmes with
Moriarty.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I may be spoiling one of my top 5 because we're gonna do a top 5 list on this one too at the end. But I honestly think, out of all media, one of the best stories ever told is Death Note. Just the sheer simplicity of the plot line. Like, I could give you a plot line. Boy finds a notebook that if you write somebody's name in it, that person dies. And things go sideways, and people are trying to figure out who he is, and he's trying to figure out or find or hide who he is. And that's the whole premise of the show. That's like the elevator pitch. But like the way it's done, like it sounds so simple, but like I could never write that story. Like I don't think I'm smart enough to write that story.
And like, but it gets so nuanced, right? Because like, he writes names of people, that are gonna die, right? But he only chooses people that he feels are criminals or bad to society, right? Like he looks at, or that's how he looks at the newspaper, sees, the worst of the worst out there, writes their name. He becomes judge, jury, and executioner all in one, right? So it's like, is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? I don't know, because it's that's not how the system's supposed to work. But he's taken it into his own hands. But he's also a murderer, right? So it's like you never really know where you stand with the main character.
Yeah. And we're making it sound very simple. This is basically like 4D chess in an anime, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like there's so many moving pieces, and like the way that everything just like falls together and the way it ends and all that is very satisfying in my opinion. Like it's a, if anybody wants to be a storyteller, that is a master class in storytelling, in my opinion. Yeah. Like just hands down one of the best stories. I don't care what medium, what, movies, TV, books, whatever. It's just one of the best stories, in my opinion.
Yeah. I'm just going to go out and go into like very light, spoiler light. The scene when he gets his memory back and he has the watch. Just,
yeah.
My mind exploded. The dude planned like 42 steps ahead.
Yeah. It's really like a game of chess between two people, but they're using the real world or the fake real world.
Would you guys consider it, for people that really are into anime, would you consider it like an entry level, good place to start, or do you think that's maybe like step 2?
Well, that was Dakotah's second big anime, right? You like watched the whole thing.
So I kind of had like a very weird entrance into anime. Like I had multiple friends tell me before I really started watching. I consider myself an anime watcher. Tell me that I was the biggest weeb they've ever met that's never watched anime. And so, I mean, I went from One Punch Man. Then I don't know what I watched next, but it wasn't very long. It was very short period of time, and I went to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh, God.
And once you start and watch JoJo's, you've been inducted into the club. And I don't think it was long after that that I watched Death Note. So it's one of those things. It's where it's like, it's kind of like in a movie where like these people train their whole lives, right? Or in an anime, these guys have trained their whole lives to be these certain warriors. Then there's the guy that grew up that was kind of useless, that all of a sudden shows up and he happens to get training as an adult and he's stronger than all of them. It's pretty much what happened to me in animes. I didn't start until I was already an adult.
He had innate hidden powers.
I was the king of the weebs all along and I never knew.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned. Oh, sorry, bro. Go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good.
No. Jorge, you started saying something. You got to finish your sentence.
I was gonna say, if we're talking about like plots and like best animes entry, I would say Full Metal Alchemist is a pretty good one. It has a really good plot to it, and it's pretty easy to get into. I mean,
would you recommend the original, or would you recommend people just watch Brotherhood?
Wait, hold on. This answer, Jorge, is going to determine whether you're really related to me or not. I might kick you off of the podcast right now if you answer correctly.
I mean, they're both pretty good. But if you're just getting into anime, I don't know. Maybe Brotherhood. But the first, I mean, the original is so good.
Sigh of relief.
It's funny.
Like the family reunions are gonna, continue being peaceful and fun.
Man, don't pretend like you don't see each other every day.
I know, right? We do see each other basically every day. No, but Brotherhood sticks a lot closer to the manga, which I guess is another conversation, like manga versus anime. I kind of put them in the same pool, but like I just think if you're lazy and you kind of want
more fighting words.
Well, I mean, there's
definitely manga master race people out there.
Yeah.
They're like, why do I need to watch anime when I just read it from the source, But then you see things that get animated perfectly, like Chef's Kiss, that you could not have done in a manga. Like so all the like anything that involves freaking Levi from Attack on Titan, the animation just was so much better than the manga.
Like, okay, as a person that's very big on stories, right? Like, I am a sucker for a good story. Like, if you just tell me a good story, like a great plot, it doesn't even have to be like told beautifully. It's just like, if it's a good story, I'm in love with it. So manga is great. But when you see like an artist's full vision of what's going on in their head for a story, like you do in anime, that's kind of like, to me, like a pinnacle achievement, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think there's any manga writer that's like, I mean, I'm sure there's some, but I think the great majority of manga writers would be stoked to be like, all right, we're gonna make your stuff into an anime now.
Yeah, for sure, dude, for sure. And I mean, we could, when it comes to manga, we could definitely have a manga episode too, if you want.
We could.
So, you see, so I could do that. I would love to have a manga episode, but I swear to you, probably I think almost every single manga I've ever read has an anime to it. Like, I don't know which manga I should pick up that doesn't have an anime.
Do I know it for you?
Man, the people want to know.
I know which one he's talking about.
The people want to know, Elsid.
No, well, look, I'm not huge on manga either, right? Like, it's not mostly because you know what? Honestly, I don't know, because I do like it. There are some mangas that I've read. There are some animes that weren't adapted that well out of the manga. Berserk comes to mind first. And
I've heard many sad things about Berserk.
so I watched the Berserk movies on Netflix, and I thought they were okay. Thought they were pretty good, pretty compelling story. But I researched it a little bit. I'm like, hey, is there more to this story? It seems like it was pretty incomplete. And forums in general, they're gonna be like, bro, gotta read the manga. The anime's trash. So I did, and I gotta say they were right. So it doesn't always happen, but unfortunately, Berserk's one of the best mangas I think that are out there. Great example of the medium used well that was not translated well into animation, mostly because of probably other issues, bad studios, laziness, trying to milk it for money, so on and so forth.
I can think of a pretty recent example, and people still liked it, but not near as much as the written form of it is God of High School. The God of High School manhwa, because it's Korean. Is, I just want to make that clear, just in case there's anybody that
It's
wants
a
to correct
Korean.
me. Anyone wants to correct me in the comments. It was rushed. Like the manhwa is amazing. It's really cool. And like the story, if anybody has watched it, knows that it goes from 0 to 100 really, really quick in the anime.
That is like the hardest anime whiplash I've ever had in my whole entire life.
Yeah.
I think it was the episode where they're fighting in the tower and goth waifu chick bust out spirit powers. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. But okay, continue, Dakotah.
But it's much more played out. Like it's played out over time. There's a lot of things that kind of fill in plot points, and it's explained as they go. Where in the anime, it was just pretty much like they go from in a high school martial arts tournament to using the nine-tailed fox spirit and a bunch of freaking crazy stuff, and people are destroying half the earth and doing all sorts of crazy crap. And it was not explained very well in the anime. Granted, it was only 12 episodes. I think if they could have stretched it out to 24, it would have been fine. But
I feel like that's a good segue to, you said Ninetales Fox.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a good segue into,
well,
a great accessible anime.
Well, before we jump into that one, because that one I think is let's put it this way, creme de la creme, right? It's just that's my love right there. I just want to say for God of High School, right? It starts off as such a beautifully done tournament arc with like masterfully shown martial arts, with different martial arts styles. And I don't know about you guys, but like I am a sucker for like good martial art demonstration type animes. And there's really not like a lot of great ones out there right now. The only one that I could think of, and it's like, again, going back to it, is Baki. Right? And that's what I was really hoping God of High School was, because like that felt freaking awesome. Like the first 3 episodes, loved it. But it just turned into chaos. I don't know what you guys think, but that's how I feel.
Dude, I'm totally with you, man. Like I love that kind of like purist, martial arts style, translated into just super slick and smooth animation. Again, why I love Cowboy Bebop so much.
Yes.
But it like, yeah, it went from like human, perfectly attainable, just like very athletic people fighting and doing things that they worked hard to learn, to like, here is a giant dragon that I summoned that can wrap around the entire building and eat everyone. And
also there's a Monkey King.
And there's a Monkey King with big staff.
Mm-hmm.
Big tree. Staff. Yeah. So I'm just like, what? How did we go from Taekwondo to big monkey? Like, I don't know. So yeah, I'm with you on that, man. Whiplash is a good way to say it.
Anime whiplash was the perfect way. Yeah. So I do have another question. for everybody in regards to anime, and this is kind of going to be, I guess this could be a good segue into the broader discussion, is so we all talked about the first anime we've watched, but what was the anime that you watched that really, you went from a guy that watched anime to a connoisseur, to an anime enjoyer?
Okay, I'm gonna go last on this one because it's gonna segue into what I was talking about earlier.
I want a little bit of clarification on here,
Okay,
because
so-
anime is a very broad medium, right? And there's a lot of different, genres within it. Some more cultured than others, some would say. So I kind of want to know where you're going with this.
Okay,
I
so
think
let
what
me-
he
let me
means, like, which one was the one that's like, I gotta get more
What-
anime after you watch
Yeah.
it, right?
So let me explain. I'll answer first for myself, and then you guys can formulate your answers based on that. So my first anime, like when I was able to actually like appreciate it, was One Punch Man. Thought it was cool. I think I watched that, went back to watching my typical stuff. Nutty Professor, Training Day. But
Yes, I can. Sorry.
but at one point it was suggested to me. I mean, I started watching JoJo's. I don't know if I watched Demon Slayer or JoJo's first. Honestly, I couldn't tell you. But when I
watched
heard,
JoJo's first, I think I remember.
because I wanted to understand.
You watched JoJo's first. I could tell you this
wanted to-
because you kept telling me you gotta watch JoJo's.
I wanted to
Just for
understand
the
all the
memes.
memes, right? I wanted to understand all the memes, but still loved it. But Demon Slayer, I think, was the one that really like helped me like turn the corner into greater weebdom. That opened up my full understanding, because I remember once I finished that, I was like, I need to watch more shows like this. I finally learned what like shonen meant. I had to look up other shonen shows.
Where really
Started
muscular
watching-
men make funny poses.
Yeah, I mean that's a part of it.
I tried a JoJo pose. Those are hard.
Just do that pose right there, like the
I
victory
want
pose.
to see your best JoJo pose. All right.
Roll the roller.
Jorge, you don't
I
have
don't
a
know if that's
JoJo
my
pose?
best one, but that's the first I could think of.
No.
I can't think of any funny lines to say.
I think me and Jorge are one of the few people that watch anime that has not delved deep into JoJo's.
Well, I remember it wasn't that long ago that I was at Jorge's house and I was watching JoJo's on my phone, and he was like, "Look at this freaking nerd watching JoJo's on his phone."
Oh yeah, I took a picture
was-
of it and everything.
And I was like,
Sent
"You
it to the
should
group
watch
chat. I was like, this nerd, this
dude.
weeb.
But it's like one of those things. Like I started watching, like it was like the real gateway drug. I watched that, and then I was like, I need to watch this, and then I started just back to back to back. And at one point, I was watching more anime than normal shows, and it's still that to this point, to now. And that's what I was kind of getting at.
I'm pretty 50-50 if I had to put a measure to it, because I do like regular storytelling too. But yeah. Anyways,
I mean, it's funny. So you brought up shonen, and like, for those that don't know, shonen, anime is basically like the big budget, big action, a lot of episodes, series that are like meant to be, accessible by like the widest audience, possible. It's like Marvel movies, but anime type of thing. I don't know if I'm explaining that well, but
that was put beautifully.
but it is freaking awesome. And it was also the way that I got hooked, because I got hooked into, like, I turned the corner with shonen, and that shonen was Naruto. Okay. Naruto was freaking awesome. And, when I first started watching it, I had to, I had to put my pirate hat on a little bit, because it was not easily accessible in the States, back in the LimeWire days. And it was, fan translated, fan subbed, so the translations were kind of, shaky at best. But dude, I mean, for anybody that has ever watched Naruto, it's fantastic. It's just fantastic. That is some great storytelling right there. Great characters, great action, emotional. You know, just so much depth to it. Like that is what made me turn the corner and be like, I like this shit, man. I need more. Japan, more, please.
Mas.
That's when you stop dreaming about going on vacation to the beach or to the mountains, and you're like, where would you like to go to vacation? Japan. I'll go to Japan.
Hot springs.
Are you sure?
Don't
about
bring
that?
it up.
Are you sure about that?
Don't bring it up.
Oh.
You sure about that?
We'll talk a little bit about Japan here in a little while. Okay, Jorge, because Jorge is maybe the most casual out of the four of us. Would you say that's a fair assessment, Jorge?
Yeah, I'm the least weebiest.
Okay. Least
Wait, I'm totally casual. I haven't watched like 300 episodes of Naruto in the past like 2 weeks.
I mean, it all started with like I said earlier, like Full Metal Alchemist and Naruto and what else did I say? Gundam and but then it kind of stopped in high school because I stopped watching Cartoon Network. And I would see people run like Naruto down the hallways, and everybody would be like, "Look at this nerd." You just have that one kid just walking or running with his hands behind his back. And you're like,
That was
what is this
me.
kid doing?
Dude, we just so you know,
I was like, wait a second. Jorge and I were in high school together.
just so you know that, I mean, this is how long Naruto has gone on for, right? The fact that me and you are 7 years apart, or 8 years, like 7.5 years apart, right? Something like that. And and kids were Naruto running in my hallways when I was in high school, and wearing Naruto headbands at school.
No, I think the worst thing that we've seen in school was people wear tails, like cat tails. Exactly.
Cat ears?
Nani?
Yeah, like
Go on.
like tails and cat ears around school.
Oh, you know
Continue.
what?
Acting like Ralf Talia over here.
She's a raccoon.
Elaborate.
There are a few girls from high school that I remember that wore cat ears, and I remember talking to them specifically because it was like a weeb beacon. It was like it was like sirens calling out to me in the ocean. Okay, I saw the cat ears and I was like, I was like, she is one of us. Yeah.
Oh god.
So
So Weed Beacon got me, dude.
Oh man, see, I wish I got into anime and I really unlocked my true power back then because, man, it's like I said the other night. I was like, I wonder what 16-year-old me would look at me now and think, you know?
What
As
a
I was-
fucking weeb.
Yeah.
he's like, you would be like, why aren't you following football every weekend?
Man,
Like
this
you
man
used
would
to?
always play NCAA. You guys want
Man,
to play some
NCAA
You guys,
on
football.
the Razorback?
you guys need to stop pretending that you weren't playing with me, though.
I think I played once with you, dude.
That's because you're
Man.
bad. Jorge and I played all the time.
We did play a lot of flag football, though. I remember that. We did do a lot of flag football,
Flag
which was
football
fun.
and ultimate frisbee.
Yeah.
So-
Oh, dude. Ultimate
Dude, I love
Frisbee.
Ultimate. Yeah.
My,
There should be an Ultimate Frisbee anime, dude.
Oh my god.
That would be
Dude,
lit.
if
Call
you want
Japan right
sports
now.
Anime, you gotta watch Haikyuu.
Haikyuu.
Dude,
Nice skill. Sorry.
I'm so
I had
hooked
to-
on
I had to-
Haikyuu right now.
I had
So
to
as
throw
the
one
as
of
the
those
only
in.
one here who hasn't watched it, can you tell me a little bit about it without too much spoiling?
It's a volleyball
So-
anime about
Oh,
a
you
short
spoiled it.
kid
That likes volleyball.
named
So-
Shahol.
So tell me this: growing up, Elsa, were you ever on any sports team?
Yeah, I played basketball.
Okay. So
Short,
imagine
and people say
the-
you couldn't do nothing.
imagine an anime that's pretty much focused on a ragtag team that's put together of mostly freshmen and sophomores that as the show progresses, you watch them become more of a team, become like a really like you see the camaraderie grow, you see them become friends, you see them all learn from each other, and as the show goes on, you see them learn new skills and then use those skills, right? And there's
That's it.
and it's
you could end it
pretty
there.
much it.
End it there.
And it's
I'm-
fantastic.
I'm not gonna lie, I got goosebumps, but not from your description. Just thinking of the show.
I mean,
You end up
sports
loving-
anime.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking. You did a good job. Good job, Dakotah. Thank you.
You'll end up loving every character except for one. That's it.
check-
You'll just
I'll
love
check it
every
out.
character.
Jorge is so unforgiving, bro. He's like, I love them all except him.
Which character do you not like?
No, let the fans and Elsid figure out. Like, let them love who they're gonna love, man.
And then
Yeah, I mean,
that got
I'm
me.
known to hate characters that are normally loved by people. So
Sakura.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
I
that,
mean,
that got me into.
she's just
have you
hated
guys
in
seen
general.
Kurasano? No basketball.
Kuruko or is it? No, Kurasano is the school from Haikyuu.
Oh, is it?
Yes, Kurasano is
Man,
the school from
it
you
Haikyuu.
talking about
starts
Slam
with A?
Dunk, bro?
No, it's Kuru. I think it's Kuruko, if I'm not
I
mistaken.
think you're right. Kuroko no basketball.
Kuruko's basketball. Yeah. Kuruko's
Kuruko
basketball.
no basket.
Kuruko's basketball is pretty good, but it's not as good as Haikyuu. And let me just tell you, I never, and I mean ever, thought I would love a sports anime as much as I freaking love Haikyuu.
And another thing about Haikyuu is that it literally, when that show got adapted into or the manga got adapted into an anime, men's volleyball in Japan spiked by like 30%.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Spiked.
Ah. Ah.
It's okay.
Good
Take
job.
your time.
Nice kill.
Nice kid.
But I mean, Mother's Basement did a video about it, and it was so good. And it is a show. It's a shonen show based around volleyball. Like I don't think there's a show that I've gotten more hyped watching than that
dude.
show.
Pretty great.
So I don't even do this for like real sports events most of the time. I think my neighbors probably hated while Haikyuu season 4 was going on, because every Saturday morning I would probably start cheering and jumping up in my apartment, like, and screaming, and they would probably be like, "What is this guy watching or doing? Because this makes no sense." Because
Sports.
I couldn't help it.
Yeah.
Put it this way, I feel like I'm a pretty in control person, and I could not help but cheer at a show and yell at the TV screen.
I can't believe I haven't watched it, dude. You guys are hyping me up for it. So I'm gonna have to give it a proper go. I mean, I've watched definitely a few sports animes. Not Slam Dunk has a lot of the same pull as Haikyuu, I would say, but it's a little bit of a boomer anime now. But there's one that I used to watch that was pretty hype, also back in the day, with my pirate hat on. It's called Eye Shield 21. Have you guys ever heard of it?
21.
No,
Yeah,
but
so it's
I'm
called
intrigued.
Eye Shield 21, and it was about American football. So
Oh,
Japanese
Oh.
high school kids playing American football, and one of them was this, average size kid who wore number 21, and he wore like a visor like LaDainian Tomlinson. Okay.
Okay, that's
All
awesome.
right, like I'll say, and he was fast as fuck, boy. And he was, and it was pretty good, dude. It was pretty good. Like it was way over the top, super anime style characters where, they all have like some kind of like OP feature to them, where like a guy throws so hard that like he'll break people's hands when they catch it. He has to have wide receivers that are like good enough to handle his throws and stuff like that.
Basically,
But,
Brett
that's an
Favre.
older one. Yeah.
That's
But
hilarious.
instead it's like a lanky, high school dude with spiky hair and like sharp teeth.
Dude.
You have to understand also that high
love
schoolers
it.
in anime are way more jacked than any of us will ever be.
Dude.
No, dude,
Like
I noticed that in
Jotaro,
Baki.
like Jotaro
Oh,
is only
Baki.
like 15 and he's like 6'6" and doesn't fit through any normal door.
Dude, if
Dude,
okay.
if you want to see like, if you want to feel bad about your size, just look at Baki. Just go through all the anime characters in Baki. They're all Mr. Olympians, just walking around fighting each other. It's like, the hell?
Dude,
Oh, can you put that on the screen?
so let me see if I could find the character name. Crap, I'm trying to think of I'm the Yakuza guy. There's a
from
Yakuza.
Baki?
Yeah, there's a Yakuza character in Baki. Yakuza Baki.
Yakuza.
I just Googled randomly just Baki
Oh,
characters and these dudes are
Hanayama.
beyond jacked.
Dude,
Yes.
these guys are like.
One
One of them was like 15 and took over the Yakuza, and he was like 6'4", like just shredded.
6'3". Okay, so imagine a 6'3", making Arnold's a 6'3" tall Japanese man that makes Arnold Schwarzenegger look small back in the day, like taking over the Yakuza and having such grip strength that he could like literally pinch a chunk out of a deck of cards. just digest that for a moment. A chunk,
That sounds
pinch a
that sounds
chunk,
very anime.
a chunk out of a deck of cards. Just
That's pretty dope.
Pretty anime.
I'd watch that.
Baki, okay, so like again, Baki is one of the ones. I remember like buying Dragon Ball Z video cassettes. I don't know if anybody went through that struggle when you were young, that you were
Yes.
trying to watch the later the later sagas, because they're not seasons, they're sagas. You're trying to watch like the Cell Saga, Majin Buu Saga, and that stuff wasn't on Cartoon Network, right?
Nope.
So you had to go and find the video cassette tapes. For you younger people that don't know what that is, it's a cassette before DVDs were available. A big old cassette.
What are
And
DVDs? They're what came before Blu-rays.
what's a Blu-ray?
What's a Blu-ray?
It's how you watch things.
It's
in
a
4K.
frisbee. It's a frisbee that used to play movies. Dude, they had Baki the Grappler commercials on those Dragon Ball Z DVD sets. And the reason why we didn't see Baki in the US is because it was too hardcore for the freaking US to have Baki. So when I saw those commercials, that stuck with me. And as an adult, when I was bored one day, I was like, by God, what was the name of that anime that was in the Dragon Ball Z cassette tape commercials? And Lord and behold, I found it one day. And, thanks to Netflix, ignited me going back on YouTube, seeing every old episode. It's a phenomenal series.
Dude, it's so funny that you mentioned that because, I mean, Dragon Ball Z, even in, Toonami, was heavily edited for its violence, right? There were some pretty violent scenes, and that's the thing. Like, these shows are not necessarily for kids. There's definitely some that are for kids, but the medium of anime stretches far and wide across, many age groups, I would say. But
Go on.
Yeah, and I was just gonna say, last time we talked about, my video game origin story is about how I'd go to Chinatown and play DDR. That is also where I met my bootleg VCR tape anime dealer, who would sell me some tapes of Dragon Ball Z or Trigun. I don't know if you guys ever watched that.
Oh,
Good one.
dude!
$5 a piece. Okay.
Guess whose PS4 or PS2 handle used to be That's the Stampede?
Dude, guess whose freaking first gamer tag was 1,000,000 knives?
Oh,
That was 1,000 knives. Now I'm confused.
No, it's 1,000K knives, which comes out to 1,000,000.
A million knives. Dude, knives. one of the best bad guys. Like,
Yes.
just, dude. Okay, so if we want to talk about, some, so I guess I was wrong. I was gonna say the same thing as Elsid with the anime that got me like I have to watch more. I was gonna say Naruto, which we'll jump into Naruto in a little bit because that, like I said, just okay. Anyways, two of them, Trigun and Ronin Kenshin.
Rurouni Kenshin.
Bro, both of those opened my eyes to what cartoons should be. Like, I thought Dragon Ball Z was good. I thought it was great. It was phenomenal. Like, there will always be a place in my heart for Dragon Ball Z, especially for Vegeta's character. Because let's face it, Vegeta is half of Dragon Ball Z.
Mhm.
Okay. But Rurouni Kenshin and Trigun were just in another level as far as storytelling and how invested you were on the characters. And if we're gonna throw in another one in there, I'll probably throw in Inuyasha.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I'll throw in Inuyasha
Dude.
too. They were like
Yeah,
the
man.
trifecta. Those were the late night animes that weren't even on Toonami. I had to
I
stay
mean,
up late to watch those.
I won't call you out too much on Inuyasha because Inuyasha, was meant more for
The
the
female-
the high school ladies.
Yeah.
But I watched it. So
I forgot about that show.
Hey girl,
That-
I see,
that
I
eventually
see
came
that
out.
Inuyasha sticker on your backpack. You want to talk? I know all about them episodes.
I could take you to Chinatown and show you my anime DVD peddler.
Hey, I got a dealer. Oh, what I was gonna say earlier, I had to go to Chinatown to find those Dragon Ball Z video cassette tapes. So I feel you on that one. But that is hilarious. Hey girl, you watching Inuyasha? That was your pickup line?
only after the ones wearing cat ears.
Domo. Yeah, hello.
Oh man. I mean, I guess we should talk about some more recent ones, right? We've been jumping at, like, I feel like Ralph and I talk about kind of like what's often referred to as like a golden era, right?
Man, if we
But
wanna
there
talk
has
about-
been like a golden resurgence.
The one where like you like just tilt your head back and just like that was the good stuff.
Yeah.
Man, if
So-
we're talking about good stuff like that, I feel one that changed the world was
Oh.
Initial D.
Oh!
Deja vu.
I remember going to Japan and the man looking at us as we're renting a Skyline being like, "You guys know Initial D? Oh, you know Initial D? No Initial
Okay.
D."
Jorge, I want you to rewind back a little bit and like do the whole story. I want you to
All
do the
right.
whole
That's
story.
pretty
Okay.
good. No
Dude,
initial
we got
D.
to Japan.
Okay, so we
All
got to Japan.
excited. Couple days past, we're renting a Skyline, R34, best car ever made. All right. And he looks at me. He's like, "How old are you?" I was like, 23. He's like, "Oh, 1 year too short." I'm like, "This is some bullshit." Whatever. Lying to me. And then he looks at Rafa and he's like, "You know Initial D." And Rafa starts laughing. He's like, "Yeah, no Initial D. You pay fine for Initial D." He's like, "You pay whatever it costs." I was like, "Okay."
He's like, "This car, $60,000."
That's a very interesting Spanish Japanese accent.
Yeah,
you had going on
that
there.
started Japanese, ended off Spanish.
My name
yeah.
is Inigo Montoya.
No initial D, okay?
Yeah.
No. He had that classic like raspy old Japanese man voice. No initial D. No. Yeah.
Maybe he was just testing you guys. Okay.
No. But
Really, this guy, you guys could have been anime protagonists. Okay. He wanted to see if you had the innate talent to initial D it, and then he was
No.
going to ask you to join his crew.
Let
no,
me tell
dude.
you,
that's
some
not-
other
okay,
stories I heard, they
I-
did not have the innate talent to drive that thing.
I at one moment almost cried and was trembling because I was stalling the car on the on-ramp like 4 or 5 times.
So this
And I was
on-ramp is
about to cry because I thought I was going to hit the car behind me. And Jorge was dying laughing. And I was like, you goddamn bastard. Like, why aren't you? Like, and by the grace of God, bro, by the grace of God, I got out of that freaking on-ramp. And I was just like, you know what? I'm done for the night.
There was 2 moments like that I was dying laughing driving in that car. Oh.
But
so the thing is
it's
when we
initial
go
D.
back, I would be
what?
the designate. When you go back and I happen to go with you,
Oh, okay.
I will be the designated driver because out of the 3 of us, at least, I think Elsa, you know how to drive a stick. Yeah, you do. No, you had an Acura, right? You can drive a stick.
It wasn't stick, but I could do it.
Oh.
I mean, I could do it. It's just, I think it was like a whole slew of things. It was raining. It was nighttime. I was nervous.
I think I'd have more issue riding on the wrong. Yeah, exactly. Driving on the wrong side than I would with anything else.
Actually, that was surprisingly easy. That was surprisingly easy. Yes. Driving on the other side of the road. That was not bad. My biggest problem is that anytime I drive the stick shift car or a manual, I rely on the parking brake to get out of an incline. So I use the parking brake as my brake to like mess with the accelerator and the parking. This R34's parking brake
was initial D'd on, so there was no parking brake.
It was completely initial D'd because it was either locked or nothing. So, you know, like when you kind of ease off of the e-brake, you know, it kind of like eases off the brake. No, as soon as I put that e-brake down a little bit, that thing started rolling backwards, and that freaked me out. So
that's how I always do my car even now, is I completely lock the e-brake, but I have the thumb thing pressed down and it's locked. Mm-hmm. And when I feel my car start to pull on the e-brake, I just let it go. Because at that point, I'm not going to start backwards momentum if I'm already going forwards.
Yes, but I've done that with your car too, and yours still has a little, you know, tug to it midway.
It hasn't been initial D'd that much.
It hasn't been initial D'd to oblivion.
And your car's a little newer than an R34 as well. So there might be some.
Well, I guess we should save this for our Tokyo Drift
podcast. You know what? We are going to do a Fast and the Furious podcast. And I'm going to invite Mikey on that one.
Tokyo Drift is the best one.
Tokyo Drift is the best one.
No,
there's no argument.
Fight me.
Yeah.
What is drift?
What's a drift?
What's
what does DK stand for?
Dakota.
Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong.
Okay. But so let's return back to the topic. Initial D. Okay. Initial D inspired millions. Okay? And I don't care if this is a real statistic or not. This inspired millions of people to buy project cars.
To want to drift.
To want to drift. To want to ride the corners of Mount Fuji.
It was very influential.
Man.
I mean, everybody played the Initial D arcade game in arcades, right? That was... I feel like anybody who's been to an arcade has played an Initial D driving game. Even if they didn't know it was Initial D, it probably was.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that.
My cousin.
I was thinking something else.
My cousin, who has never watched an episode of anime in his life, showed up to my house when he visited me from Tampa and was like, I have something to show you. He has like a very like thick Spanish accent. He's like, I got something to show you, man. You're gonna love it. And he popped in.
Scarface?
Yes, basically. Pretty close.
A pile of cocaine.
The Puerto Rican Scarface. He popped in the Initial D movie DVD and played that, and he's like, bro, the Corolla, man. Bro.
Or they say the Corolla.
The Corolla, man. The Corolla. No. He's a mechanic, so he knows.
He ended up getting one as well.
Yeah, he did have he had a 11, but he had the badass motor in it. Corolla, and I don't think there's a more iconic anime car. Like maybe the Mach 5, but come on, bro. Everybody knows the Tokyo Terreno. I mean the Tofu Terreno. Everybody knows that. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure, dude. For sure. I mean, it is the. I can't think of any other like great car animes now that I think about it. You know, maybe I just haven't watched them because it's not a genre I typically go to in anime. But
Bro, because nobody wants to try. Nobody wants to try to touch that, man.
Dude, even at that place we rented the R34, they had a Corolla 8.6 with the black bottom stripe and then the skinny middle one with the letters on it. Exactly like Initial D, and this man's telling us no Initial D. And this man has a car in his parking lot.
You know what? I think if we go back, I'm gonna have to rent that one. That's what I'm gonna rent next time I go back. Either that or a GTR, like
GTR.
the new ones that you could buy.
The
in
one with the
US.
paddle shifter.
Yeah, the one with the paddle shifters. Yeah,
you won't stall that on the on ramp.
I won't. I won't. I'll race you in it too. Smoke you guys.
So I guess it's a good point for the next segue, and I think this is one that would be good to discuss. We have a lot of friends between the four of us who we have probably tried to get to watch anime. Right. I think Jorge, I know I told him to watch every show I've been watching at some point in time. So what do you think are some good animes that you could tell your friends to watch to get them into it?
How much time do they have? That's the real question.
It depends on the person as well.
So there's a person in our Discord. It's a friend that pretty much is like, and I guess I need to start watching anime. I don't know where to start. And we're like a bunch of monkeys, like showing him, like, watch this.
Yeah. Like,
and so what are some good ones to start watching? I was talking about Jay. By the way.
Shout out to our number one fan. Wait, is it Jay? Is it Jay that's watched every episode?
I think he said
whatever.
He watched a bunch of them.
Shout out to Jay for following Cult Fans Only. Thank you, bro. You're appreciated. And everybody from the Discord that follows. We appreciate you guys for sure.
Number one cult simp. Love it.
Thank you. Thank you. But honestly, if somebody wants something that's not super long and is a great anime, and if they don't like this anime, they're probably not going to like anime in general. I'd probably say Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood because it's on Netflix.
Yeah. I mean, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is pretty awesome. How long is that anime now that I think about it? Is it a 24 episode? I can't even remember. It's been so long.
It's like 4 seasons. It's like 4 seasons, so it's
4 seasons. Yeah. I mean, that is a great story all on its own. I think what do I normally tell people? I think definitely, Dakotah's favorite, Demon Slayer is definitely one that I think is very highly accessible, by all.
It is, but I feel like at least one of the characters is very annoying. Like
that's also kind of like a typical anime trope. If someone has to be really annoying.
I don't know. He seemed more annoying than a lot.
Than most, you mean?
The most, yeah.
He is extremely annoying. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know.
It's like a great anime, though. You're right.
There's, like, what is something, like, me personally, I would recommend something like, like Quintessential Quintuplets, but I don't know. I don't know if that's a great starter anime.
Slow ahead.
Oh my!
I really like My Hero.
My Hero is also
okay.
My Hero Academia, yeah.
That is actually I want to change my answer. My Hero Academia is definitely like if somebody wants to watch something that's funny, that has really good animation, that has enough action and a really good storyline. My Hero Academia is it's quickly becoming, I think, one of the juggernauts in the anime industry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, totally is.
I mean,
Totally is.
I don't think there is one person that cannot find at least one character that they relate to in My Hero Academia. Like, being a big guy, okay? I'm a very big guy, right? I'm a chunk. I always get pissed off because even though I'm a big guy, I've always loved practicing like martial arts, and I'm very big into like boxing and kickboxing and Muay Thai and like, you know, a little while ago I was doing Krav Maga and Jiu-Jitsu. I've always felt like big guys were represented as like lazy, stupid buffoons, right? Freaking My Hero Academia comes and makes one of the most badass characters ever, and that guy's name is Fat Gum. And that that dude is a straight up G, and he represents big boys correctly. All right, so shout out to My Hero Academia for coming up with Fat Gum, because that's my dude right there.
Yeah.
I think that's a great one, for sure. Very easily accessible by all.
Yeah. I'd make an argument though that you kind of have to look at the age range, because you think about like a grown adult watching their first anime, they might want to watch something with more adult themes in it, I would say. Where that show is about a bunch of kids going to basically Sky High. It may not.
What you trying to say about Sky High?
Nothing. Sky High was awesome.
Are you trying to say 30-year-olds can't watch Sky High?
No. It may just not have the pull immediately. I think that's one of those, like, get them watching something different. Like, this is my argument for Demon Slayer. Is
dude, Dakotah's
first of all, the statistics.
Dakotah loves Demon Slayer.
Yeah,
He fucking loves Demon Slayer.
Like, on a scale of 1 to like you want to marry it, how much do you love Demon Slayer?
Marry it.
Yeah,
it's easy.
No, this guy.
But here's the argument for it, right? One Piece is the
longest.
What?
That thing is a telenovela. All right, there's a new episode every day.
It is the highest. It's consistently the highest selling manga. I don't know if it's like goes by week or month in Japan, right? Demon Slayer is like one of the first anime or shows manga to surpass it. It dethroned it temporarily, and it was the highest selling manga like last year, right? It's some statistic like that. I can't remember exactly, but it's huge, and it netted like upwards of like millions of dollars. I don't want to say an exact amount because I'll be wrong. So there's obviously something to be said there when a manga like that gains that much attention from 25 or 26 episodes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of see what you're saying though. Like My Hero Academia is a little bit more on like the younger side, and its appeal. Even the fights, there's still like a good amount of violence, but like the themes aren't as adult, I guess. It's not. The tone is much more. I don't know how to put it.
It's
like
lighter.
It's much lighter. The tone is much lighter. It's much more Naruto. As much as I love Naruto, right? But then Naruto and then Naruto Shippuden.
It's pretty dark at times.
Goes a little bit more adult, right? Because the show grew up with its fan base. Mm-hmm. So I kind of agree with you there. So it's like, but it's tough for people because it's like you want to give them something that's easily digestible, right? But also kind of hits some good adult themes. Like sometimes I'm kind of tempted to recommend Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
I was about to say that.
Attack on Titan is basically Game of Thrones.
It's
it is the Game of Thrones of anime. Yeah. So, it's dark, but for some people it's really hard to get around the whole Titan aspect. They're goofy looking.
They're freaky.
I mean, it's kind of like
They're
I
scary.
feel like
It's
Attack
really
on
funny.
Titan is like the Walking Dead of animes. I mean, it's like zombies. They're
Attack on
just big
Titan
ass zombies.
is essentially oh crap, I forgot what the term was. I saw someone called it. It's basically a Gundam Wing, but instead of Gundams, they're just gigantic people suits.
Man, you haven't watched Gundam Wing.
I've watched some Gundam as a kid.
So
It's a mecha anime is what they're calling it. But
So-
instead of mechas, they're
I
fleshy
want
mechas.
I want to hear. So, you know, when we said the ones that hooked us, I think Jorge left anime for a long time, and the one that got him back was Attack on Titan, because he's watched more Attack on Titan than I have, which is saying something. So what is it about Attack on Titan that's like so freaking good? Because it is good. Like, I remember I've watched the first 2 seasons, phenomenal, and I do need to catch up. My apologies to everybody hearing this. I'm not caught up.
The final season so far is so good. I can't handle it.
Yep.
That's all I'm gonna say. I literally can't.
Yeah.
From the beginning, this dude knew what he was going for, right? That was writing it, and he has written all his characters so well that there's really even the goofy ones that only want to eat potatoes, like they have their moments where they drive the story so well, right? That, and also the main character, who is also, I would say, he's quite annoying at the beginning. You see him grow up and you see him become a man, and it's great.
I would definitely recommend that anime. It's a tough starter one though, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's like I really want to recommend that one, but I don't know. Like, I definitely know a lot of people who started watching that show that are even into anime. They like anime, and they say, "Man, it's a little too dark and violent for me. It's kind of weird. It's giant people eating people."
I mean, if you like Walking Dead or Game of Thrones, I mean, it's the same thing, same concept.
So
Basically, giant zombies eating people.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
great point, dude.
when I started my anime journey in adulthood, I tried to watch Attack on Titan early on. I think like right after One Punch Man. And I didn't make it 20 minutes into the first episode before I turned it off. It was just like, for me, right at the beginning, it was just a little bit much. I also didn't really commit to it. I kind of just watched the beginning, made my snap judgment, and didn't watch it again.
So what you're saying is that you hadn't awoken your eternal weebu eye?
No, I have not. I
You
didn't.
weeb Sharingan?
Yeah, I didn't have my Weeb Sharingan yet.
The weeb no jutsu.
I think for me, Attack on Titan, I mean, everybody's seen Walking Dead.
Right.
Like, that show is gruesome. And then one of my favorite characters died in a terrible way by another. It was
I ain't gonna lie
bad.
to you. I've only watched like one episode of Walking Dead.
So
That's why you couldn't finish Attack on Titan.
Lil.
But like, if you watch that show, you could definitely watch it. Like, it kind of relates to that show. Like, I liked The Walking Dead for a certain amount of time, and that's all. Like, that's why I watched every Sunday. It was like Walking Dead Day, and then after a while, I mean, I stopped watching it. But it's kind of like
now
that.
it's Attack on Titan Sundays.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
It replaced
It's like that video.
You know, since we're talking about anime, right? And Attack or Walking Dead, we're mentioning it quite a bit. I just want to give a huge props to Steven Yeun, who played Glenn in Walking Dead, who is now doing voiceover work on the Amazon Prime show Invincible. That, while not an anime, just so far, I'm eating it up, guys. That is like,
Is that a live action show?
no, it's a cartoon. It's a
Oh.
cartoon. So he's doing it, dude. J.K. Simmons J.K. Simmons and Steven Yeun are the two main characters, and I cannot recommend that show enough. For the first 3 episodes, awesome.
Does J.K. Simmons yell about demanding pictures of Spider-Man?
Yes. I personally guarantee that this will happen on this show that has nothing to do with the MCU.
Gotcha. But anyways, so shows that get us that are good starter animes. Okay. I highly recommend Demon Slayer. I'd also highly recommend, if you guys don't know.
In case you didn't know, he loves Demon Slayer. Just loves
One Punch Man. Second season, shaky. But the first season was...
First season. I actually liked the second season.
I did too. It's just the animation was kind of weak.
Yeah, but I wanted to see what happened with the bad guy.
Garo.
The one that was trying to fight One Punch.
Yeah.
One Punch Man, I feel like I've tried to get people to kind of start there, right? But it's like, I feel like the comedy in it doesn't hit quite as well if you don't already have kind of like, an anime show, just tacked on already, right? Because like there's so many tropes in there. Like the whole point is that the dude is just so OP that literally, as the title says, he beats everyone in one punch. But the story's not just about him; it's about everybody around him who like tries to be strong, right? And it's like I feel dude. Like great place to start, but tough to get, like the tropes.
You know what character dude. I love, and I mean I love this character, because you want to talk about character that's all heart. Freaking the bike dude. I don't even know what his name is.
Moomin Rider.
Moomin Rider. Dude, Moomin Rider deserves his own show. I'm just saying it. I'm just going to say it. I freaking love Moomin Rider.
Dude, the funniest scenes.
He's the Rock Lee. He's Rock Lee of One Punch Man.
Yeah, it's giving him a little too much credit, but yeah.
The funniest scenes in One Punch Man is when he's trying to play video games with
King.
I forget with that dude, and he's like just losing all the time. And he gets so pissed off that he's losing in a video game.
It's so funny. It's really, man, that's a great comedy. Which there's also, we've talked about a lot of good action animes. Some good thrillers here and there, but like, man, are there some good comedies.
Oh yeah.
Oh dude. If we're gonna jump into comedies, I mean, dude, people are gonna think of me in a wrong way, because I'm like, we can't talk about this comedy without me talking about my love. But Love is War is is freaking hilarious. It's one of the few ones that I'm like, yeah, we gotta watch that in Japanese because it's just that good. The subs in it, like the original is just so that good, and it has my number one. I don't care who judges me, but my number one waifu of all waifus of all time,
Chika
Fujiwara, bro.
But you're wrong, because Hayasaka's actually number one.
Yes,
it's true. You guys can
rarely do I agree with Dakotah, but he's right.
You guys can keep her, because Chika Fujiwara is everything that I would hope for in a girl. She's pink haired, but I'm just gonna say redhead for now. She's redhead, right? And she's like bubbly and happy and like sort of naive, but like the best friend that you could ever like imagine, because she like is so caring and loving. And then but she's kind of scary too sometimes. And then she does the Chica dance. So like I like, she's just like perfection in a female character.
That's what it was. What I was talking about the other day, last night with you, I was like, what was the thing you're always saying was stuck in your recommended? It was when the Chica dance was a thing. And you're like, all I have is recommended of people doing the Chica dance on my YouTube.
Like, so now we are talking about advanced weebness.
Oh yeah.
We're talking about advanced now. Jorge is getting left behind in the dust.
Oh yeah.
And this is where we are starting to shine now.
He's like,
where the true men of culture reside. Yeah. And that is, the ever eternal debate in every show.
Who is the best
girl?
Who is the best girl?
And no escape from Demon Slayer. Easy.
Everybody does love Inosuke. But
Haku from
Not
Naruto.
Speedwagon from JoJo's.
What'd you say?
Not Speedwagon.
I've heard that so
Speedwagon,
many times.
dude.
Who's that one dude that does the anime videos? Not Anime's Balls Deep, the other guy.
Giguk?
Giguk. Giguk.
Yeah,
Dude,
great.
Giguk has a hilarious video about waifus. Like and he mentions the JoJo
Speedwagon?
character. Yeah, Speedwagon from JoJo. He's like, and we all know the number one waifu is Speedwagon from JoJo's.
dude, if we're
He
talking
is.
about why, we gotta go Midnight from My Hero.
Yeah.
Cammy.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
No. You know who I'm like? I'm just gonna from My Hero Academia, the girl, the creationist.
Oh, the one that creates stuff.
Yes. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Nah, dude, my Midnight.
That's also a great one.
Mount Lady.
Mount Lady.
Hello.
That meme is so
Hello.
funny. Nice to make your ass acquaintance. Or whatever she said.
Oh man.
Dude.
So I got a question for you guys.
Okay.
What is the weebiest animes you guys have watched
Fighting
so
Gold.
far? Wait, what?
Fighting Gold, probably.
A show?
Fighting
Fighting
Gold?
Gold? That's an opener.
No, Golden Wind. My bad.
Golden Wind? Do you think Golden? So JoJo's
No,
Bizarre Adventure Golden
JoJo's.
Wind is the weebiest show you've watched?
No, JoJo's, bro. You can't beat
JoJo's is JoJo's.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. It's like you feel like that is the peak of your weebness of all the shows you watched. No? You
No.
just don't want to admit.
I'm trying to think. I mean, Konosuba's up there, but Konosuba's
Konosuba's hilarious, dude.
it's
that's
the
a great
funniest thing
comedy.
I've ever watched. Like
Yeah.
it's almost no contest. Love is War is the
Sunny
only
in
one that's up there.
Philadelphia, the anime, basically,
Yeah.
but like in a fantasy setting.
It is.
Like terrible
Exactly.
people making terrible decisions, super selfish, but they
Mega
all.
Man's the
The
best.
League.
I
Mega Man is the
as
best
far
girl.
as far as comedies, I really like Psychic K. The Netflix
I haven't watched that one.
I love it. Okay, and you guys are gonna bag on me for this one, but the problem with that one is that they talk so fast in that show, so fast. I cannot watch the subs because I can't read that fast.
If it's on Netflix, you put it at 0.75 speed.
Get good, bro.
I gotta get good, man. This is gonna have to be like a Dark Souls thing, because I will tell you what, I laughed so hard watching season 1 of Psychic K. Like I thought it was so freaking funny. It was I loved it.
That's the one with the dude with like the magenta hair.
The pink hair with the
Pinkish
antennas.
hair. Yeah, and the antennas. Okay.
Yeah,
So I have heard that's very good. So I'm gonna have to check it out.
it's really funny.
Have you guys watched Devils is a Part-Timer? The Devil is a Part-Timer?
I've
Yes,
been
I
meaning to
have.
watch that.
Is that any good?
I mean, I enjoyed it. There's definitely better comedies out there, I feel, but the whole concept of, the demon lord of
Working
his
at
own
McDonald's.
world is working at a fast food shop with his minion, his number 2, and they just try to make a living together, and they live in like a studio together in like the crappiest neighborhood. It's pretty great. It's pretty great.
Man,
I think it's
haven't
getting another season.
I haven't filled out enough of my anime list to tell you what my weebiest show I've ever watched is.
Okay, so for me,
What is this show?
the weebiest show, because like I don't even understand why I like this show so much. And I've read the manga. I'm pretty much caught up to the manga. Is Rent a Girlfriend.
Yeah.
That would
That's-
qualify.
That's probably my weebiest. And just so people could clarify, we're not talking about like full on girls of the night here, okay? We're talking about these girls meet these very shy Japanese guys and basically hold their hand and go watch a movie with them, and they get paid. Yes, they get
Lewd
paid.
hand holding.
They get paid very good money to do this. And like they apparently, so people that don't know the Japanese culture, there are bars that people go to, and women included. Women do this. This is not just a guy thing. That they go to bars and they pay the opposite sex to sit there and talk to them for a couple hours, and then they go home. That's it. That's all that happens. They just talk. So this is like a show kind of based around like what happened, like worst case scenario of what happens when a guy hires a girl to date him for an evening, and they go to an aquarium and the guy starts yelling at the girl. Basically, that's where it all starts. Quickly. Yeah, it escalates from there.
You know, another really good starter show that finished fairly recently is Jujutsu Kaisen.
Well, good point, dude.
Because one season's out, and it's great.
I think Jujutsu Kaisen is it would be good for somebody that likes supernatural stuff and wants to watch anime. I don't think it would be good for like a run and gun type of person for first anime.
I think it'd be good.
I just if you're not into like, for example, if you've ever watched like, I guess like Supernatural, or I'm trying to think of other like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Charmed, Vampire Diaries. Like if you're like that kind of person, I think Jujutsu Kaisen would be great. But if you've never watched like anything with like supernatural elements, it might be like not up your alley.
Okay, I loved Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I freaking love Jujutsu Kaisen. I mean, I think it's a pretty decent one to start at. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of like you gotta know who you're recommending it to. That's for sure. Right. Yeah. To see if they would, be into that kind of thing. But it's got all the right pieces. It's got great action. Fairly easy to follow story, but still good. Right. Still a lot of depth behind it that can be uncovered. And the fights. The fights are dope.
So if Jujutsu Kaisen keeps going on the track that it is, it's a strong contender for future like GOAT anime.
Yeah.
I would like, being that I have my own GOAT in the back of my mind, which I mean made it pretty obviously what it is already. But I think if it keeps going,
quintuplets.
I was thinking more domestic girlfriend, but now
I was just about to say domestic girlfriend.
No, it's Naruto. Obviously, Naruto, in my opinion, is the GOAT. Which I kind of want to not end it on Naruto, but it's just I want to save it for last. It's so good.
Naruto's a long conversation in itself.
Yes, which there will be just a Naruto episode by itself once Dakotah finishes watching Naruto.
Hell yeah.
And I might do half of the episode like by myself, just like so I could cry on camera. But I think Jujutsu Kaisen is just a masterclass of anime.
Yeah.
Like those openers, bro. Like that's also a whole conversation on its own. If we're talking about anime openers.
I mean that is like an advanced level of we're talking a lot about like entry level stuff, right? Because we want to be accessible, get people watching some of this stuff if we can. But like when you're watching a lot of anime and you're rocking out to Jujutsu Kaisen's opener and closer, while you're getting a workout in, you've reached advanced weebdom.
That's right.
Your Mangekyo weebdom.
Mangekyo weebdom.
Not to call you out, Elsid, but what did your wife say when she caught you watching God of High School?
So the God of High School opener is very extra. Okay,
and it's so good,
very extra. And it's like I'm at home, so I'm watching anime. God of High School comes on, and she's walking by. She hears the opener, and she's like, "Oh my god, are you serious?" And I'm like, "Yeah, this song is dope. What are you talking about?" She's like, "You listen to this shit while you work out, don't you?" And I'm like,
No.
"No."
You silly.
She knows me a little too well, dude.
So I got
Called me
3
out.
more shows that I think would be great starter shows.
Notice
I have a
that.
list.
Notice
Hold
that
on.
he doesn't want to answer his most weebiest show,
Yeah, he really
I
doesn't.
still can't think.
and
of
he
what
hasn't
it
even
is.
let Jorge answer the most weebiest show either. Although I
Mob
think
Psycho 100.
I still haven't watched it.
it's great.
Oh, dude.
If you like shows like X-Men, and if you like stuff with like cool powers, like
X-Men.
yeah, it's pretty much Mob Psycho 100.
I would say My Hero
And
Academia is more X-Men than Mob
Yeah.
Psycho.
Yeah, okay, I'll get that. And then the first season of these 2 shows, Sword Art Online, just the first season.
Oh, Sword Art.
Dude, do you know how many arcade games we saw of Sword Art online?
We lost
have a
Elcid
in
people.
Japan.
I have a reason for this.
We lost Elcid people.
I have a reason. I have
Dude, Sword Art Online is great. I don't care what anyone says.
while he's
Love it.
away, mourning the loss of his friend. The other one would be
Because of Naruto.
He dropped Naruto. He's
He's like, "Can't believe
he's
it."
apologizing to Naruto right now.
so I have a reason for that.
Sword
I have
Art
a
Online
valid-
is good, bro. I don't care.
I have a friend
I have to
who
take a
just
moment.
started his weeb journey, and he loves Sword Art Online.
Mhm.
That was the first one he watched, and he loved it. So that is why I am, in honor of him, I mentioned it. And
Okay.
then the first season of this show is Tokyo Ghoul.
I
Tokyo
haven't
Ghoul.
watched Tokyo Ghoul yet.
I do that.
Yeah. Let me do a throwback for all those SOA people. Sword Art Online. That's a little bit of weeb acronym for you guys. I'm gonna give you guys a throwback. .hex sign.
Oh man. Ooh.
Ooh.
Okay, so let me ask you this though: did you ever really understand what the hell was going on in that show when you were watching it? Because that sure as hell didn't. I loved it, but I
So
had no idea what was going on.
I had to watch it again as an adult. And essentially what I think, if I'm remembering it correctly, because I haven't seen it like in 10 years. Essentially I think what happened was the main character, I think went into a coma or something happened to him while he was playing the video game. And he was basically stuck in the video game, but it was just him. Like, it's not like Sword Art Online where everyone was stuck in the video game. He's the only one. And then basically it like, because of that, it kind of broke the system. And then there was like the OS or the engine of the game manifested itself into a character, and a non-playable character. And then it's basically the quest to like help this kid go back to his regular body. Yeah. And it was just, it was my first taste of a video game anime. And I just was in awe by it because I had never seen a story or heard a story like that before that.
An isekai, right? I mean,
No,
Dot
it's-
Hack is like an isekai, right? Kind
It's
of.
like an isekai the same way that Sword Art Online is an isekai. It's not really an isekai because they're people playing video games. But the video game system is like far beyond anything that we have in the real world right now.
You know, and and since we're talking about video game kind of like world animes, reminds me of one of the weebiest shows I've watched, which is titled I Don't Like Getting Hurt, so I'll max out my defense.
Oh, that's a great show. Or as
I
we
have seen
affectionately
about
call it,
20 episodes
Maple.
of that.
Yeah.
Maple.
So definitely not one I'd recommend as a starter, but a great feel-good, wholesome comedy that I would recommend to anybody who is, who's already into anime.
And for those of you who want to watch an unwholesome comedy, Konosuba is right down your alley.
Hell yeah.
If you want a wholesome anime, okay? So let's say you've never watched anime ever, but you are like kind of like, I don't like violence that much. I'm not, I like going outside and being active and all that stuff.
IQ.
Haikyuu. Dude, Haikyuu, I am not
Full
kidding.
circle.
I am not kidding when I say I have never felt better about life watching a show than I have with Haikyuu.
You know
Like I
what?
say, I just never wanted to play volleyball more in my life.
Same, dude.
It's like if you want a positivity bomb to go off in your life, watch Haikyuu.
Thinking of
I
keeping
understand all the rules as well to volleyball now.
Yeah, now I know all the stuff we were doing wrong when we were playing, dude. Knowing that Jay is such a huge sports fan, once he gets a couple anime under his belt, I think he should go out to the Haikyuu. Yeah, that'd be good.
Man,
Haikyuu's great.
He could just start
Jay,
right
you
off
hear
the
that,
bat.
man?
Yeah.
I've never been so excited watching a show where I had to jump up and down and be like, yes, they did it.
This is all spoilers, bro.
Oh, sorry, they didn't do it.
How do I
your
know
face.
How do I know they did it?
Shut your face.
I feel like so much of this has been just trying to convince Jay to watch this show. Which show can we get our friend Jay to watch?
Okay.
Yeah.
So
And if he
It's
likes
tough as nuts,
basketball, I
correct.
mean, Kuroko's
Kuroko's basketball.
Whatever. No basket. That's what it's called. No basket.
That's the
It's
Japanese
actually
name.
pretty good. Just if you like basketball, that show is actually pretty good. Like when they actually start playing real games.
So
I think it's no Haikyuu, but it's all right.
I mean, when they start playing real games, it gets intense.
I think the
And then
weekly
there's
show
a dude who
is
lived in
Atlanta.
America, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, you lived in America? You learned from the origins of basketball."
Ice Shield 21
okay.
was just like that.
Okay, so
Really?
I think Dakotah tried to mask his "Weebiest show ever" answer.
I don't know if
Jorge
that's
was
the one
talking.
though. It came to my mind.
I would say it's
not
fairly
the
high
slow,
up there.
not the slow ahead. The original Azur Lane anime.
That's pretty weeby. That is pretty weeby. But Slow Ahead. Okay, so if anybody wants to know what Azur Lane and Slow Ahead is, we've talked about it a little bit on the video game episode. Very briefly, we dove right into it in the first few minutes. Basically, it's World War II ships in the representation of waifus. For those of you who do not know what waifus are, those are female animated characters in anime. And
That you want to be your waifu.
Are you
that
telling me they're not real?
They are in my heart. they exist in my heart. And Azur Lane and Slow Ahead are the respective anime cartoons based off of this video game.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's up there, man. I feel like that's up there in the weeb levelness. I mean, I watched the anime just randomly, and I just thought the premise was kind of funky. It's like all these World War I and II era battleships turned into anime girls, and I'm like, all right, man, I'll give it a watch. See what it's all about.
Maybe. I'll give it
And
a
lo and
shot.
behold, 1 year later, he's
And then I was like, oh, this is a game? This show is based on a game? I got to play the game. And playing the game ever since.
Let's just say our Discord name is in relation to this game.
so. Oh man,
Called
if you want to talk about
Cha-Cha
it, if you want to talk about another show that's kind of out there in its premise, Gleipnir. It's very
that
out
me?
there.
Gleipnir is great.
Wow.
Gleipnir is awesome.
Gleipnir.
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 What?
Yeah. Only had one season, and I don't think it was that popular, to be honest. I don't really think it got that much attention.
No.
Oh. Okay, no, I got my weebiest of weeby animes.
Domestic Girlfriend.
No. Not even close.
Quintessential quintuplets.
Fooly Cooley.
What?
What?
Fooly Cooley.
It?
If you can make it through Fooly Cooley, you can make it through any anime.
I have no idea.
I don't know, man. You haven't watched School Days. Sorry, go ahead.
FLCL. Look up FLCL. I'm pretty sure it's FLCL.
Right, FLC.
Oh, I saw that. Like, I think it was on one of the top best animes.
Fooly Cooley.
FLCL, yeah, it's one of the
Fooly
best.
Cooley made me feel weird things as a young man.
It's about a rock band.
What studio made this?
It's an incredible Japanese alt rock soundtrack from the band The Pillows.
It is a mecha rock and roll sort of like pervy, but not like so pervy that it couldn't be on Cartoon Network. So I watched it on Cartoon Network at night. So it was pervy mecha rock and roll fantasy anime.
Oh, never mind. I know what my most weeby anime is.
But
should speaking of mecha, I just looked up this FLCL. It looks actually pretty cool. I'm probably gonna watch it. Just off the cover art alone.
I'm watching the trailer right now, and the song is dope.
Ah, dude, another song to work out to. Should we talk about mecha anime without, we mentioned Gundam Wing very slightly, but I don't know if you guys ever watched. You guys don't seem very depressed to me, so I don't think you guys ever watched Evangelion.
I have not yet.
Yeah,
it's on my list.
Yeah, so I definitely, I'll touch on it lightly. It's probably one of the best animes, ever to watch. Definitely one of the strongest openers ever that still resonates to this day among people. But don't watch it if you don't want
to have the big sad.
Yeah, you will get the big sad.
If you don't want to
just right away from the start.
I'm gonna Dakotah, say the thing, bro. Say the thing. If not, I'll say it. Say
what's that?
If you don't wanna what? Cry what?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my god, it's literally his catchphrase for like the last 2 months, and now he forgets what it is. If you don't want to cry manly tears, do not watch that show. Also, what's the other one? Violet Evergreen or
Violet Evergarden?
Violet Evergarden. I started watching the first episode, and like within like 10 minutes, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be sad."
This will also give you the big sad. I watched it. I think I watched it for the first time like when we started quarantine. So it was about a year ago, I think. Yeah. And the big sad.
Yeah. Jeez, dude.
I watched the first episode and I was like,
yeah.
If I want to avoid crying, so I'm going to watch Naruto and then cry at least once a day every time I watch it.
If you are a female in the U.S. and you like romance and music, I recommend Your Lie in April.
What if I am a man that loves romance music?
Then Your Lie in April.
Should I watch Your Lie?
Yeah.
I think I should.
I plan on watching Your Lie.
Your Lie in April is shout out to our boy Scotty Too Hottie for recommending. Is it McHottie? Scotty McHottie? Yeah. It's not Scotty Too Hottie? Oh, that's the wrestler. Scotty McHottie, which I still don't understand.
He has been mentioning for us to watch that show.
And I know you said Generation Y earlier. I think it's Generation X.
No. Yeah. Generation X is your parents.
Gen Z. Gen Z.
Gen Z. You're right.
I don't know.
I don't know, man. Right. I'm talking about fucking Cowboy Bebop, Evangelion, and Gundam Wing.
Dude, I'm in the middle between Gen
You're
Z
a boomer, dude.
No. You
What's
and
the aspect ratio of those shows?
I feel like you and I fall right in between Millennial and Gen X. Like it could go either way.
Oh, you and Nelson?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where the cutoff is, but
I feel like that with Millennial and Gen Z.
I don't really like labels You know,
Yeah.
I only identify as weeb.
The only label I accept.
Yeah.
So the weebiest anime I've ever watched, I'm pretty sure, is How Not to Summon a Demon Lord.
Oh my god, that is very. There's
Like,
This is advanced.
dude. There's also a really good
advanced.
one on Hulu. What is that called? It has a really weird name. That's also along the lines of How to Summon a Demon Lord, and I love it because it's
a light novel adaptation.
it's kind of like Shield Hero, where he kind of got shafted in the beginning, and he like rose above because of his adversity. I think it's like Astra something maybe.
Please tell me it's not redo of a healer.
No. Oh, I have not watched that yet. I have heard things. It's called Ari Fuerte.
one of the
From
other
the-
Discords
from
I'm in, they
commonplace
pretty
to
much
world's
talk about that
strongest.
concept.
If you like,
Dude.
that one's really good. It's kind of
Yeah,
like
I haven't watched it.
it's kind of you'd love it. You'd love it. It's really good. Also, if you're brand new to anime and you want to watch your first isekai, Jobless Reincarnation. I'm the only one that's watched it here, but boy, that is a strong contender for gonna break the top 5 if it keeps going as good as it does.
I'm gonna have to give that a go, dude. I hear nothing but good things about it.
Yeah.
And that's pretty new. That's very recent. That's this season.
Giguk, I think his title for his review was a masterclass in isekai.
Yeah,
Damn.
it was.
Yeah.
So one other show I think would be really good, and then I think it's time, since we're hitting the 2-hour mark, that we need to talk about Naruto.
Yes,
Is
Just
Dr.
don't-
Stone.
just don't want to get emotional.
Dr.
yeah.
Stone is awesome. And it's
watched-
so
it's
over
like-
the top, and it's so good.
For us boomers on the podcast, anybody who liked Bill Nye, the science guy.
So I
Growing
think
up.
everybody
This is
watched
Bill
that.
Nye, the science guy.
Bill.
the
Hey, bro.
anime.
Hey, bro, your epidermis is showing.
Would you call me?
Your weenus is out.
That's a Bill Nye joke.
Did you guys ever watch the beginning?
The
Oh,
beginning.
oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Beginning of what?
We said the same thing. Beginning of what?
It's pretty good.
Of Demon Slayer? Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
you know what?
amazing. It really
We-
picks
Have
up.
you
on
guys watched the
episode 13.
movie? The movie just
We
does
might
it all.
have to have a part 2 to this conversation because honestly, I feel like we could easily go into the 3-hour mark on this one.
I mean, you've done episodes, on specific titles. I feel like Naruto.
just
Na-
needs one by itself.
Naruto by itself, okay.
So let's just give a very brief
Okay.
reason about why Naruto.
All right.
Like I said, I'm not going to give you.
Hush, children. Okay.
All right, he's building it up. He has to build up his
Okay.
chakra for this one.
Yes, I have to summon all my chakra for this.
Do all the hand stuff.
For those listening, Elsa just did hand signs. And he did them
That
masterfully.
actually looked really good.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
So Naruto honestly feels like the brother I grew up with and watched become a successful man. Like, it's just, I feel so strongly for not just the main character, all the characters in Naruto feel like family because I was literally a 15-year-old boy in my freshman year of high school when I saw some kid reading a manga with a ninja that had a scroll in his mouth and like kunai and weapons in both hands and like craziness going on in the background. And the first thing that I said when I saw that, and I'm like, what is that? Like, I had a visceral reaction to the cover of that manga. And I'm like, what is that? And he's like, that's Naruto. And then I'm like, where can I get it? He's like, go to the bookstore, buy it. By the way, the anime is coming to Cartoon Network. Bro, that thing. Okay, so just the fact that it's a great anime is not like just the reason. It's the fact that me and Naruto are basically the same age. He turned 30 when I turned 30. Okay? So it kind of feels like that's just somebody I grew up with. Like, and the whole arc of Naruto, like that's why like it's so strong, but it's basically about an orphan that is ostracized by everyone in his life. He literally has no one in his corner for most of his life until he finds one teacher to kind of help him find his way as a ninja. And from there, he just blossoms into a strong, charismatic, positive, like uplifting person. And he affects everyone around him in his ninja world. And his dream is to basically become the president ninja, which is called Hokage.
El Presidente.
El Presidente. And he does everything that he possibly can to achieve that dream and to uplift his friends along the journey. And it is by far my favorite story of all time. There is nothing that I like more than Naruto. And I could rewatch that for the rest of my life. No problem.
It's hard to beat, dude.
So, as a person that's, relatively new in the anime world, only being a few years, Naruto for me was very intimidating to watch because, first of all, it's like the big three: One Piece, Dragon Ball, and Naruto are the big three. They'll never be toppled, probably. Till Boruto comes along.
Oh my god! But it has its arguments for good points.
So
okay, we'll discuss that in the Naruto episode.
But really, what's the intimidating thing is there's like 800 episodes, right? 800's a lot. That's a large time commitment. And so it wasn't until a few weeks ago I finally committed, and I was like, I'm just going to watch it. I have the filler list out.
He didn't get it until yesterday, but he has 400 episodes under his belt.
I'm trying to figure out why Gabe has a calculator out.
I'm figuring out the amount of time it takes to watch 800 episodes of Naruto. Continue. As
he has 400.
I'm not sure how
he did fillers. So
there's filler. There's a lot of filler episodes that could easily be skipped. And if you're watching it the first time through, I do recommend that.
So it's a massive time commitment, right? But, I decided, I'm going to watch it. I have the filler list, so I know what episodes should be skipped. And I have descriptions on the ones that, if they should be skipped or not, right? So I started watching it. It was great. It was kind of a sticking point for me that I didn't like the aspect ratio at the beginning. That's only because I'm not a boomer. But, I stuck with it, and I've loved, literally every step of the way. And before this, watching anime, there's only been a few things that have really gotten me to a very emotional point where I've wanted to cry watching something, right? One is ReZero, certain episode of that. And I'm not going to say Demon Slayer because I'm going to get made fun of.
No, you can say Demon Slayer. I mean,
Demon Slayer is... There's moments in Demon Slayer that's amazing.
Which part is Demon Slayer?
The whole thing. The opening.
What?
The first 2 seconds he started crying.
Episode
how
19
beautiful it was.
Is just because of how great episode 19 is. It wasn't like a cry. It was one of those things where it's just you're just in shock of how good something is. But Naruto's made me cry 5 or 6 times so far. I'm not gonna lie.
If I was an actor and I had to do a crying scene, I would just sit down and think really hard about Naruto, and I could get there. I would be like, all right, I'm ready to cry.
So,
not a problem.
It goes from what this point that Ralf has been making is that you watch this kid who starts out no one's in his corner, right? And as the show goes on, people realize how good of a person he is. And he's not letting all this hatred towards him and all this hatred in the world around him affect him. He stays positive. And he slowly changes the hearts of all the people around him to grow to love him, to where at one point that village is totally loyal to him. And there's a huge scene in the show where he does something amazing and returns to his village, and they're all there cheering for him. And I was immediately just tears.
Yeah.
And
I mean, honestly, I think the show having as many episodes as it does is actually good for the show because you get so invested into the character, right? And there's so many great themes in that show. I mean, like, I mean, you guys already touched on it, like mentorship, you know, just hard work, you know, versus talent, like which one triumphs, you know, is one better than the other? There's just like so much stuff that's touched on there, like building for the future, you know, what it means to have ambition and, you know, go for it, what you have to sacrifice, like all this stuff. It's all there, man. And like you watch it, you watch the main character and others go through these things, and you can't help but get like super invested and like see some part of yourself in one of them at some point where, you know, you get just, yeah, you get emotional about it, man.
I think like
I don't blame anybody for getting emotional over Naruto. I really don't.
The fulfillment of Pain's arc would not have been the same if Naruto was a 2-season show.
No. You
But
can't.
instead,
You can't tell that story.
Instead, I'm 300 episodes in, right? And I've seen this process slowly happen, not over, like, I don't know how many hours are in 24 episodes without, like, having to think for a second. But instead, it's been a crap ton, right? 300 episodes, and this is the payoff, right? That's a long time investment for a huge payoff, and it feels so great. What's the verdict? 24 episodes is
I just did 20 minutes, and it's like basically almost 10 hours.
So 20 hours is not enough for a payoff like that. But
yeah, it's hard to describe being that emotionally invested in fictional characters. Like, okay. Here's a good one. Harry Potter. How many, like, that's years that people waited for the Harry Potter movies to come out. Years that they followed the books. And followed J.K. Rowling and like stuff that she talked about and stuff like that. Years. And there's so many people that are so emotionally invested in Harry Potter's universe, right? And the reason why is because same thing. They were kids when they came out, and they were adults when these characters became adults. And there's no comparison to seeing somebody grow up with you, you know? And it's just, I don't know. It's like one of those things, like, it's like where fiction is more honest than reality in how you see the world and how you want to see the world. And
yeah, I think another good example would be, and it's not, no, and it's not like the idea of them watching them grow up beside you, but it's the time investment, right? Is we look at the Marvel universe. 2008 was when Iron Man 1 came out, right? And it was 10 years later when Endgame came out. And that huge payoff where the theme from him was always that he's going to make the selfish play, right?
Right.
And then he sacrifices himself for the good of the whole universe.
Spoilers, dude.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
Nah, you've seen Endgame.
You've
seen Endgame. If you haven't seen Endgame, you live under a rock, especially the fact that there's Disney Plus and there's been a pandemic going on for a year and a half.
Marvel's basically the anime of the West.
You screwed yourself if you're listening to that podcast at this point in time and have not watched Endgame. So shame on you. But yeah, you're right. That's a pretty good comparison.
It wouldn't have been the same if we like had only Iron Man show up in 1 or 2 movies and then he made the big sacrifice. Instead, we watch how much he's grown and changed, how much the whole universe has changed around him, and then he does the thing, and it's the same deal.
Which probably explains why Boruto sucks so much.
We're not invested in Boruto.
You know what I mean? Because it's like Boruto,
show.
like we're just starting from the beginning, and it's like, nah, man, I want to see Naruto, like as my age, struggling with things. You know, my age, that people my age deal with and overcome them. You know what I mean? It's like, because it's like, as a Naruto fan, you grow up watching him and you see him overcome all these things, and then it's like, man, I want to watch more Naruto. I don't want to watch Boruto.
I will give you that in the sense that it's not as good as Naruto because of all the background that we have from Naruto, right? But I will say that the Chunin exam arc is kind of a redemption point in Boruto.
In Boruto?
Yes.
How many episodes? I was like 90 episodes in, and 90 I still hated it. Yeah, it was like some ridiculous amount of episodes.
So did you watch the Chunin, like when he went through the Chunin exam?
I might have.
And so
it was all very forgettable.
Because I quit when I was like in 50 episodes in because it was all filler.
So, question: does Boruto have a Byakugan?
You got to watch the show.
Yeah, I can't tell you shit, man.
Yeah,
why are you assuming he has a Byakugan?
I was trying to probe. You guys denied it.
You gotta watch the show. So I read the manga, right? And the manga is only main storyline, and the main storyline is going to be only 100 chapters long. That they already said that, but they're only doing one episode a month, which is like a terribly slow pace for anime. So it's basically going to be like 6 or 7 years. I can't do the math. I'm slow.
Wait, one episode a month of
100,
Boruto?
Yeah, 100 chapters of Boruto.
Are you talking like one episode a month on the TV show, or are you talking one episode a month?
The TV show is vastly outpacing the manga.
Yeah, that happens.
The manga.
That's why the filler comes on.
Yes, that's why there's so much filler for Boruto. The manga is going to be 100 chapters, one chapter a month.
I mean, could you imagine? I mean, I basically watched Naruto this way because it was tough to get a hold of Naruto episodes. Could you imagine all those cliffhanger episodes on Naruto, waiting a month to see what happens next?
I honestly don't want to watch Boruto for that reason. Like, because then I'm going to be stuck waiting for it every week.
Boruto sucks, too.
Imagine watching Pain
Don't watch Boruto.
Do his almighty push,
anime.
And then having to wait a week to see what happens. Right?
Yeah, and then you get Boruto. It's terrible.
You should just watch the Boruto movie. That gets you where you need to be, and then wait till they do the whole kawaii storyline.
Kawaii?
You guys are gonna have to work harder to convince me to watch Boruto than you will to get someone who doesn't like anime to watch anime for the first time.
Gotcha.
Yeah, to watch Demon Slayer. Because I watched so many episodes of Boruto and I hated it all along the way. I wanted to like it so bad, but I was only happy when I saw Naruto.
I'll create an episode list for you and see if I could do something there. But yeah, okay. So really quick before we end, there's two questions that I want to ask. Okay. And first question is, what's your favorite obscure, probably not a lot of people have watched it anime? And I was going to do a top 5 list, but we don't have enough time for that.
I want to ask a question before your second one.
Okay. Well, go ahead and ask it now so you could give them time to think. Unless it's
okay.
Unless it's also
has there ever been a villain that you've hated so much, but is such a great villain in an anime?
Oh, dang! That's such a good question.
I can think of a recent one right off the top of my head, and then I'll probably give you a better one, if I think about it. But right now, one of the best villains that I hate so much, but I think is great for the show.
I think I know who's.
It's Gabby in the.
Yes, I knew it.
Oh my god, dude!
Who?
I hate Gabby with a passion.
I
wish she would
freaking
die.
Hate Gabby, but so good for the show.
Is that Attack on Titan?
No,
that's Attack on Titan. Yeah,
I want to
hate
punch
her.
Gabby.
Mami-chan.
I wish she would die.
Oh,
That's a good one.
That's full circle back to We Miss Show, dude. Nice.
Mami-chan's bad.
Mami-chan is evil incarnate.
I kind of hate to say this because it just like the one that sticks out to me is Orochimaru, to be honest, from Naruto. Like, I think Orochimaru is such a good bad guy, if that makes sense. Like he's so slimy and evil. Makes the show interesting.
Yeah, I mean, he's terrible. He's terrible. And it's like,
You
I'm
know
trying. Sorry, dude. Go ahead.
No, you're good. You know what? You guys I know Dakota hasn't, but also have you seen Walking Dead to like the part of Negan?
Oh, dude.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Negan.
That's what Gabby reminds me of. Even though she's not as bad, she's right there with Negan. That's what she reminds me of.
Negan is by far one of the best bad guys ever.
Yeah. I mean, Gabby's not quite that level, but thank you. Sorry, my wife's handing me another beer. But people hate her. People hate her, and for good reason.
Yeah, she's terrible. She irks me.
Okay, no,
Gabby pisses me off.
You want to know who I hate? Who I hate? Like which anime like Orochimaru is not even like Orochimaru is a good bad guy, but I don't hate him. Like
I know who you're gonna say. I think.
Who?
I want to let you say it.
I want to hear you think.
Is it in Naruto?
No.
Okay, then I don't know.
No.
Is it Demon Michael Jackson from Demon Slayer?
It is the god. It is the goddamn girl. That's the princess. In freaking Shield Hero. I hate, and I mean hate her. She is such a piece of shit person. Like the character, like I just.
Is there anyone that doesn't fully agree with that?
There's not a single person that wouldn't.
Every single person. Like I think between her and Gabby, I'd be like, yeah, Gabby's not that bad.
Yeah. Gabby's aight.
Gabby's aight. I'll be friends with Gabby.
I haven't watched that show, so.
Well, you'll know when you know.
Well, okay, I'm not gonna say anymore, but
he'll know when he'll know.
Dude, Gabby.
Oh yeah, no, dude. But that makes like a good bad guy. You know, you absolutely hate him.
I don't know, because like the inverse is also kind of true. Like Thanos is a super great bad guy, and you don't really hate him. You know, he was the hero of his own story, pretty much.
I mean, his logic makes sense, but he's still a dick.
Are you guys Thanos did nothing wrong?
No, I'm not. Thanos did nothing wrong, Chloe.
I'm more of a let's go Thor, chop off his head.
Yeah.
I think honestly, I don't disagree with Thanos's philosophy. It's just I think if people were really altruistic, they would realize that makes a lot of sense. And stop having as many babies.
I think that he has a very pessimistic point of view. He thought, oh, there's not enough resources for all these people in the galaxy, so let me get rid of half the people. Why did I say, oh, there's not enough resources for all these people in the galaxy? Why don't I double the resources?
Nah.
Yeah, but Mammy-chan.
Mammy-chan's up
was
there.
way worse.
Yeah, Mammy-chan.
I'll be friends with Thanos. I'll be friends with Thanos before I'm friends with Mammy-chan.
Mammy-chan is a bad lady.
Person.
It's a bad mama jama.
I don't like her. That's from Rent a Girlfriend. If anybody's curious with what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So the only bad guy I can think of that like right now I really hate, but I've already like watched.
Besides Gabby.
Well, it's because I'm watching Naruto and I'm so deep in that. That's the only thing I'm thinking of is Danzo. I freaking hate Danzo. And also Sasuke. I freaking hate him at this point. Like he's such a whiny little. I'm not gonna say the rest.
A little emo.
He's a little emo angry boy, dude. He's Anakin Skywalker of freaking Naruto world.
So edgy.
He's such a little edgelord.
So unfortunately for me, like the best bad guy ever is not even an anime character, but it does come from the animated world. The Joker. There's no better bad guy, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
The Joker is just the quintessential essence of what a bad guy should be.
That is a great bad guy.
Somebody that you kind of like, and you don't know why.
I don't know. I mean,
but it's so terrible.
Like not the animated version, but or not the, I guess the comic version, but Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Negan. There's just something about him that he's like so charismatic, but you just freaking hate him at the same time.
I like, for people that don't know.
I mean, going back to anime, great bad guys. I mean, 1 Million Knives. Going back old school.
Dude,
that was a great bad guy. Understandable why he was so screwed up as a person, right? And why he thought, the way he did, but ultimately a piece of shit.
I mean, one that's not a piece of shit, as you could say, but he ended up being a good guy. In the beginning, he was a villain. Was Vegeta?
Ah, Vegeta.
Oh,
yeah,
dude.
Vegeta had a really good turning point.
Man, Vegeta, best tsundere.
Like Vegeta is
best tsundere.
You made all the thoughts I had in my brain.
If I could have the willpower and discipline of one character, you would think Naruto, but no, Vegeta.
I think it's the only reason it's because of Goku, dude. Like,
Vegeta works so hard. Oh.
I think it's because of Goku, though, because Goku is just a meathead. He's I can do this.
He's a bro.
He's like,
so you're an adult because when you were a kid, you loved Goku. Goku is your favorite. But as an adult, I think that Goku is a freaking idiot, and Vegeta's the best character.
Dude, I don't know what that says about me because I freaking love Vegeta from day one. So I must have been just screwed up in general.
You know who the best bad guy is, though? Ainz
Einzugan.
Great bad guy. And he's the main character of the show.
I mean, Overlord, by the way, if anybody has watched that.
Oh, that's good.
It is an isekai. A guy gets transported into his video game world, but he is a bad guy in his world. And definitely acts as so.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Man,
highly recommend.
I'm trying to think of who's the best bad guy in anime still. And I feel like I'm missing somebody. There has to be, it's like in the tip of my brain.
One character I kind of felt bad for, even though he was a bad guy, was Bertolt from Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan?
I feel like he's kind of going to become the good guy, and Aaron's starting to be the bad guy of that show. For sure.
I mean, Bertolt's...
Spoilers.
What's it called?
It's okay.
He's gone, dude.
I don't know. I like Reiner a lot.
Mad.
No, I'm talking about Bertolt was his friend.
Yeah, the armored Titan, right?
Reiner?
No. Reiner's the armored Titan. Bertolt's the giant, the colossal Titan. Like, he was a bad guy, but
I feel bad for him.
He was also trying to do kind of something good, but
I mean,
that's why Attack on Titan is so good.
Show. Yeah, exactly.
It's a war. Like, both sides are the good guys in their minds. You know?
So why do you guys hate on Gabby so much, man? It's a war.
Nah, dude, Gabby's just a
freaking. Go watch Boruto,
bro. It's war. War.
Oh,
maybe
what's
later?
That guy
like,
with all the hands on him?
I know who's
Gene in the beginning.
I know who is I know who is the best bad guy.
All for One?
No. It is Yuichiro Hanma.
What's that from?
Baki's father.
Oh.
Shit.
That dude is a freaking beast, bro.
Like, you hate him, but he's so gangster. Yuichiro
that
Hanma
dude is
Yuichiro
the Chris Bumstead of.
Are we out here talking about the best bad guys and we didn't even bring up Dio?
Dude.
We didn't bring up Dio Brando or Diavolo.
I mean, Dio is in my shit list for life because he killed a dog.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, never
Dude,
mind.
if we're talking about
Yuichiro
best
Hanma's
bad
just
guys,
been
we gotta go with
usurped.
Team Rocket, bro. Pokemon.
Oh my god.
No.
Oh my god. What's the cat's name?
Best bad guy is the
forget,
the
dude.
test that have to take in quintessential quintuplets.
Oh, dude, I gotta love that show, man.
That's
No,
funny.
Frieza is actually pretty good.
Frieza's a good choice, man.
Frieza's a good
Frieza
bad guy.
is a good. Frieza is solidly evil
Such a
and
piece of shit.
cocky and a piece of shit. I mean, again, you guys remember like Dragon Ball Z was heavily edited in the U.S.
Yeah.
We saw it, right? But Frieza, when she or he, I don't know at this point, when Frieza took
Bye.
the second form, okay, with the big horns,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
freaking impaled Krillin
Yeah.
yeah.
and bucked them up
Dude,
and down, and
Dude,
blood was
I'm
spilling
sorry,
everywhere.
Krillin was a little. It was.
I never
kinda weak
understood
sauce, dude.
Krillin. Like,
Alright.
why couldn't he
Krillin.
grow up? Why couldn't
Dude,
he get tall
okay.
too?
If we're talking about Dragon Ball Z villain, who would you choose? Let's see. We got Frieza. We got Broly. And
No,
what was the other-
Broly's not a villain.
Broly.
He's
He's
not
kind
a
of a villain. What about what's that dude's name? The alien-looking dude. What is
Cell?
it? The gray?
Cell? Wait, no, the gray.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jiren. Jiren.
Jiren.
Jiren?
Jiren's
that's,
awesome.
That's later though.
That's later.
Right?
That's not
right,
Dragon Ball
that's
Z.
right.
That's Dragon Ball Super.
You know, Super. Yeah.
Jiren's
From Z Majin Buu is
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, definitely some great villains in anime. I mean, I definitely, you guys haven't watched or seen Berserk, but the villain there is pretty much as messed up as it gets. I don't know if it's like a you love to hate kind of guy. You just hate and hate, all around. And same thing, I would consider. I don't know if you guys remember in Full Metal Alchemist, the dude that turned his daughter into a dog or a beast.
Was
I
that
hate
Tucker?
that guy?
Tucker?
I
mean,
that guy.
I
know-
don't think I've ever thought of anybody I hate more than that guy.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Oh
What about I know we're going back to Naruto here, but what about Pain, dude?
no.
I
He's-
didn't hate Pain.
He's
But
have you
Pain
got
was,
to,
he's just an awesome bad guy.
he's a good bad
Pain
guy.
was a great bad guy, but not. It's like I don't know. You could.
That's the Thanos thing. We kind of
Yeah, Thanos. Yeah, piece of shit. But you kind of understand.
Yeah, like we're talking. That's what I'm going with. Is like I could see when you see like a bad guy's motivations and why they're doing something. It when you kind of understand why they're doing something, I like that bad guy more than someone that's obviously just pure evil and easy to hate, right?
Speaking about or bad guys, I completely forgot about the dude from No Hero Academia. Go with the
You
hands.
got the hands. I was. I'm
Yeah.
trying to mention that
Oh,
earlier.
dude.
He's freaky.
He's good.
Tomorrow or whatever his name is.
Good bad guy.
I like the guy that has the blue flames. He's cool as shit too. I forget what his name is. I'm telling you guys, I'm so bad at anime names. I'm like terrible. Okay. So let's circle back. So we talked about bad guys. What's the obscure anime? So Fooly Cooly and Paranoid Agent are obscure for me, but I think my favorite obscure anime is probably Psycho-Pass. Psycho-Pass is really good, and not a lot of people's watched that, or I don't feel like a lot of people's watched it.
Gleipnir for me. I think that's
No, I
probably
haven't
the
seen that.
obscure one I've watched.
Yeah, I haven't watched that, so I would say that counts.
I say I'm the least weebiest here. Just
Yeah,
to-
so whichever
so I
one,
would say like
probably
I
Haikyuu.
guess Haikyuu. Yeah. I mean, I watch a lot of fighting animes, but like that's the one that's I guess the one that has no fighting at all. Besides what's the other one? Kuroko no Basket.
Kuroko no Basket. Yeah.
Basketball.
Yeah.
Actually, I would put Kuroko probably as your most obscure one because more people watch Haikyuu than Kuroko,
Yeah, I've
I
never
think.
heard of that, but I know about Haikyuu.
Yeah, so we'll say Kuroko for you.
I mean, it's pretty good. It's not bad.
No, it's good. I mean, I'm not saying. I'm just saying like the ones that probably people have heard of the least. I should say.
Yeah.
That you like.
Actually, I just found a boxing one that I'm probably gonna watch next.
Megalobox.
No, it's the one I just sent you. It's called
Or Ipu.
Himata no Ippu.
Yeah, that one. I've been wanting to watch that one. That looks really good. But it's not
And
obscure. Actually, it has a big following in Japan.
No, yeah, it has a 9 score out of like the myAnimeList.net.
Yeah,
Apparently,
I see that
there's
right
a
now.
baseball one called Major. It's like number 10, like
I
10
would-
out of 10.
I would watch that because Japanese people love baseball.
That's actually a pretty. It's pretty decent. That anime.
Major.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to watch Hunter x Hunter. I know it's on
Hunter
Netflix.
x Hunter is so good. It's like Naruto if you just shorten it to 150 episodes.
Interesting. Elsid, obscure anime.
Okay, I'll go like a little bit old school obscure, I guess. Maybe it's obscure. I don't know. I feel like it was kind of popular. But there was back in the day, kind of like same era ish as like Cowboy Bebop and such. There was this one anime called Serial Experiment Lane. I don't know if you guys ever heard about it, but it was like super edgy type of thing, and it was like about this girl who basically just connected to the net via like all these cables and shit in like her bedroom, and it was all about like early days of the internet and like, you know, how people communicated with each other, and it was very like psychological, philosophical kind of thing with a little bit of dusting of edgy on it. I don't know if I would really recommend it to anybody, but I remember enjoying it. And nowadays, I don't know if this is obscure, but it was obscure to me because I never heard about it before until I started watching it. Was Akudama Drive is fucking sick.
I was trying to get us to watch that for anime night, and it turns out you already watched it.
Dude,
It's pretty cool.
watch it.
Is there
Watch
any
it.
like hacking animes? Like where they just go and hack stuff?
I mean, Serial Experiment Lane was kind of hacky-ish. But
yeah,
you know,
you
like I said,
describing it. You describing it, I was like, I'm in.
Darling
Yeah.
and the Franks.
Because-
there you go. That's a hacking anime.
Dude, there's a story on YouTube. What was that story? Welcome to the Funhouse.
Oh no, Ugh,
That story is
that's
insane.
terrifying.
It's basically a dude who enters in the dark web, deep web.
Ew.
What is it? And it's just insane.
Yeah, it's
And
a
I feel
scary
like if
story.
there's an anime like that, that'd be pretty.
that would be pretty good.
That'd be
Actually,
pretty interesting.
look at Jorge coming up with anime ideas.
dude, you might like Serial Experiment Lane. You might like it.
I'm gonna check it out. Okay, so we come to that question, boys. That question.
Oh no.
That question.
That question. For anybody who doesn't know, on Naruto they say that jutsu like about 1,000 times throughout the series. So, just if you want to watch Naruto, get ready to hear that jutsu over and over again.
Believe it.
Date
That's
bayo.
bio.
Datebayo.
Dude, that's hilarious. Okay, so that question: can anime change the world?
I mean,
Absolutely.
hasn't it already? I mean,
Dude.
my God, man. I mean,
How
Get-
many times? Oh, go ahead.
go, dude.
I was about to say, how many towns do we go to in Japan where it's just like anime everywhere? Like, it's insane how much anime is over. Like, how many anime things are over there?
It's true. It's true. Dakotah brought up a
Freaking
good
claw
point with
machines,
Haikyuu.
dude. Yeah.
Claw machine.
Volleyball going up.
Yeah, I mean, Haikyuu literally caused more people to start playing volleyball.
Dude,
And
I want to play volleyball.
I know for the
after that.
three of us that have watched it, like, I want to play volleyball. I really want to play some volleyball.
I want to do some jump floats.
Yeah.
I want to
Some
ref
freak
you.
quicks.
I want to ref the volleyball game. I don't think my knees right now kind of messed them up. But as soon as I get that fixed, then yes, I'll be playing volleyball with you guys.
One thing I think of also is I saw this on Reddit, that apparently the term waifu came from this one character saying, "Who is that?" Like looking at this teacher's picture, he goes, "My waifu," and now literally everybody says waifu, right? It came from one thing, and so you could see like how something small as that, as now everyone says it.
Look at how many memes there are about animes. Like,
Oh yeah.
Some of the
freaking
subreddit
ridiculous.
anime memes, it's amazing. It's the best subreddit on the internet.
Yes. Mr. Elcido.
So I mean, besides that, it already has changed the world. Can it? I mean, dude, it's. I don't even know where to. Honestly, I don't even know where to begin with this question because my whole life has been affected by it, whether I knew it or not. All the games I played were kind of like anime inspired. All the shows I watched growing up were like anime inspired. That's my world.
Genshin.
You know what I mean? Yeah, man. Freaking like, watching Speed Racer, with my family because that's the shit they love to watch, to, talking to you guys in a podcast, about animes. Like in my world, it's affected quite a bit.
To play in Azure Lane.
To play in Azure Lane. I mean, it's I would say it definitely has. And the fact that you guys want to play volleyball out of all things you can possibly do activity wise, volleyball is what you chose because of Haikyuu, then yes, it can definitely change the world.
Well, we would play volleyball anyways. That's like
Yeah,
pre-COVID.
but
Would you?
No,
but it took some convincing.
no,
to get-
bro, but we didn't know the rules. Now I know all the rules. I know the special techniques.
I mean, people went to Area 51 and
Naruto
did
ran.
the freaking
Naruto
Naruto run to storm the place as a meme because of the show. So I mean, if that's not enough of of a social impact, I don't know what else I can do to convince you.
I got you. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna get pretty serious here. And I know it's been a pretty lighthearted conversation, but I'm gonna get pretty serious here for just a little bit and kind of shed some light on my personal life. But like about a year and a half ago, me and Jorge went to Japan. And the reason why I always wanted to go to Japan was because of anime. It was my dream vacation. Like, I wanted to go to Japan because, like, all of my favorite characters are, like, Japanese characters, I love the culture, I love the samurai, the ninja, all the parts of the culture that got transplaced into anime is, just so amazing, right? So I wanted to go to Japan my whole entire life. And the week before I went to Japan, my father passed away. And it was a time in my life. Now, my father didn't live close to me. He lived in Venezuela. We were trying to bring him to the U.S. Didn't work out, obviously, because he passed away over there. But it was a time in my life that my father knew about the trip. He was excited that I was taking it. He was excited that I was taking Jorge with me. And it was a time in my life that I could have easily fell into depression and very much mourned what happened. And the fact that I got to go to Japan and spend time with my nephew, just relaxing and just enjoying the culture, and then going to Hikabara, going to all the arcades, looking at all the figurine shops. I mean, I basically immersed myself in that world, and I got to see the Gundam, the huge Gundam that's like 5 stories tall, and I felt like a little kid. And I think in a way it helped me mourn in a way that was positive versus negative. And I am so grateful that it happened when it did, because I could have gone down a very dark place. And the fact that that I got to go to Tokyo right afterwards and kind of do my own mourning in that way was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. And I'm just glad that that's how it worked out. And that's thanks to anime. If it wasn't for anime and my love for it, I would have taken that trip, and that outlook for that part of the year would have been so different, you know. But really, because we went to Japan after that happened, it made me appreciate life and made me see that life, even with the bad stuff, there's still good to be had. No matter what, the shittiest thing that I could have ever thought that could happen to me happened right before I went, and I still had a blast because that's what my father wanted. So, you know, that's how anime kind of changed my life.
I'm not gonna lie, without anime, this is gonna be a little lighthearted compared to the conversation you just had. Without anime, I would have never found my fatty tuna. Thing is so good.
Okay. Yeah.
Best part.
Yeah, fatty tuna.
Fatty tuna is good.
He's like, we got to get some fatty tuna. I heard in the anime it's like the best thing ever. I was like, all right, let's get some. First taste. I'm hooked.
What else has anime suggested that I missed out on?
Nah, bro, I'm hooked. The only thing I want.
Ramen.
Nah,
And fatty
well, the
tuna.
ramen was good.
Ichiraku ramen.
Ichiraku.
No, the Ichiran ramen. Ugh. But
Ichiran,
and-
which I think was based off of Ichiraku, based off of Ichiran,
but that freaking fatty tuna.
Yeah.
Best thing ever.
All right. So fatty tuna. Those are the last words.
Including words. Fatty
Yes.
tuna's good.
All right.
Anime is great.
Everybody, thank you guys so much for doing this, and hope you all enjoyed. All right.
Domo.